What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Sarlacc Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 85, being recorded September 9th, 2020, and we are 50 days away from Mando Season 2 premiere date. And yes, we did call that, right? The end of October?
We got lucky on that one. All sorts of sources. We're our sources, and we said it was going to be the end of October.
We did. We said the end of October because we
so from now on, ask us.
Right. I am your host, Darth Moocher. I'm joined here with Scott Solo.
What's up, nerds?
I've got Darth Dad 77 with me.
Hey.
We've got Bootleg Joe.
He's down there.
Hello.
We've got Fanboy Mike.
What's up?
He's way over there.
Yeah, he's way down the corner there. Say hi, Mike.
What's happening, guys?
Your intro on 85.1 was nowhere like that 85.2 intro.
Right. All right, welcome, guys. Unfortunately, Galactic Coven cannot make it with us tonight because they are battling the fires of California. So a few of them are in the midst of it and have to be evacuated. In fact, one of them that was supposed to be on the show was actually is getting evacuated. So they're going to reschedule. So unfortunately, they got to do what they got to do. Safety first. So best of luck to you guys. Stay safe out there, please. With everything else going on, we don't need fires now, but we got it, so we have to deal with it. So
California.
Well, we wish you guys the best.
Yep. Unless the Death Star shows up one day, like Krennic, is showing the Death Star. I don't need all this stuff. That'd be awesome, though.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'd just be like, "Take me home." I love it.
I have pictures from it. I'll be like, "I'm from there."
Seriously, take me home. Everybody in the chat room, thank you for joining us. If you haven't already. Everybody that's watching this or going to watch this, subscribe to our channel. Hit the like notification, hit the bell notification for all our content. We've been dropping videos, original content along with our podcast. So it's been a lot of fun, and we're getting a lot of good feedback, and we have a lot more in store. So that out of the way, I wanted to give our little, pay the bills out of the way, right?
And not one of those things did anything for our pockets.
Exactly.
Yeah. Except
but you guys have been busy bees. It's appreciated too.
Yeah,
it's fun.
No,
that's actually fun.
Jamming on some videos.
It's actually something we've been talking about a long time. Is our YouTube channel and try to bring original content with it, not just podcasting, right? Because we want it to be we always say like we live Star Wars outside this podcast too, so it kind of proves it. That what we do and stuff. And I think the toy reviews have been doing great. I think we're going to do a lot more of those. I know we have some things. Cooking coming up soon, so cooking.
Oh, let's tease everything. We got tons of stuff coming out.
Yes.
I've got about 6 or 7 hot topics ready to roll. We've got a Cooking the Creature show with Mike coming up, right? Where we're gonna cook.
I'm excited about that.
Learn about the Star Wars creatures. We have a Cantina series coming up of between 8 and 10 episodes, depending on how long we make it.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the
depending on how long we can stand.
Depending on how long we can stand. We have a lot of original content coming up, plus some awesome other guests coming up. So I mean, it's like, I'm our favorite show.
Yeah, I like us. I wasn't a fan at first, but now I'm a fan. I mean,
I started to listen to.
I actually subscribed to our channel the other day, so I'm like, this might be pretty cool.
These guys look neat.
But yeah, to end with the Galactic Covenant, we are going to reschedule with them, so they will be on the show, but it'll be later this year because we do have some bookings that we were very excited to announce.
We announced it, and I hosed the dates up.
Yeah, we'll get that too. We'll get that. If everybody will have plenty of notice. So
we'll fix it at the end of this show. We'll just go through our calendar.
As mentioned, 50 days to the Mandalorian Season 2. And again. That's a lot. We have a line that we're standing in. I love it because it brings up so many questions of like, where's the trailer? Is a trailer even coming? Is all these things? Because Entertainment Weekly dropped an article on The Mandalorian and showed us some pictures. Again, promo pictures, right? Nothing that's going to be like, oh my God, but that's okay. Because I think at this point, the less that they show us, the more exciting I'll be when the premiere happens.
I 100% agree. And I caught some crap on Twitter when I said, like I say on the show, I've said it a couple times in the show, the best trailer for 2 was Season 1. Yeah. That's all I need at this point. It's gone so long. We've been pumped. And honestly, I think they overdid the Baby Yoda merchandise after the show happened.
Way after.
It's kind of good to let it roll. Yeah, I'm still like, how many pops do I need? Right?
For every one of them. Cup, steaming cup, cold cup. Yeah. It's like
yikes. But yeah, just give me a little bit less. These pictures got. We're only 50 days away. Yeah. That was pretty cool. We're gonna get a teaser. I know we are. And like, remember, our source was ourselves for the 30th.
Yes.
The end of the month. But we have heard through the HoloNet that we talked to,
right,
that maybe mid-month was it anyway. We've been saying that for 2 weeks.
Right.
When this whole thing blew up about the Laker game and I had that rant on Hoth,
right,
our people said mid-month, and that's what we're hearing. So we're thinking this weekend is probably the go-to anyway, which makes sense after the EW, right? You get the Entertainment Weekly spread, and then you get a trailer right after.
Yeah,
this is how they market. Why do people fight about this all the time?
Exactly. And again, I think this is brand new territory anyway for TV shows. You don't want to market TV shows 6 months in advance like movie theaters,
right?
Because you kind of forget about it,
Yeah.
I heard that Disney Plus got a huge push for Milan when the live action. It got a 60% increase in subs, just for that alone, and all these, now it's time to push that out. Like, okay, drop this, Mando, Star Wars, what's this? Oh my God, so it makes perfect sense in the marketing world.
I actually think the Mulan thing was helped by the Mandalorian more than the reverse. I think everybody's like, you know what? It's $30, but I'm going to get it anyway because Mandalorian comes back out next month. And everybody that dropped after Mandalorian is like, now I'll watch Mulan. I'm gonna have it anyway.
Right.
I honestly think that's what happened.
Yeah. The $30 price tag meant really nothing to me because I spent that on when I go to the movie theater by myself on popcorn and everything else. I spent $40 by myself. So
yeah.
That's precisely why I got it. I got it for the kiddos, and I figured that's what I was going to do already. So
it's a no-brainer actually. Real fast though, I do have some line talk if you want to get into it before we get into other things about the Mandalorian. Now, the list of the titles came out. Or again, I don't know, to take this with a grain of salt, I don't know if this is official or not. That's just a list of every chapter.
Confirmed.
I'm going to throw one
chapter. Did you read them?
I did. I read them all. And I'm going to throw one chapter at you guys because to me it's the only one that really stood out to me. The other ones were really straightforward. And honestly, I kind of forgot half of them. I knew when I read them, I was like, oh my God, this sounds awesome. But
so if anybody wants to avoid any spoilers at all, cover up for about a minute.
Yeah.
Starting now. Now.
Okay. When will then be now?
Right now?
Right now.
The one chapter that stood out to me was a chapter called The Wizard.
Ahsoka.
Okay. You say Ahsoka.
Confirmed.
And I know that we were kind of discussing this off camera about Ahsoka, and you said Ahsoka because you're like, who else could it be? And my it was like Luke.
Luke, okay, I've had canon Luke into this series at the end, or heard name dropping Luke, right?
Yeah.
If we see Luke, I'll literally pee right there.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it won't even move. I'll just.
And here's the reason why I say Luke, because Ahsoka makes more sense because, again, rumor to be in it, rumor to be casted already, and it fits the timeline perfect, right? I think Ahsoka still be in it, but Luke, the gutsiest move that Mando Season 2 can do is put a CG Luke like they did Leia, in Rogue One, in this series briefly, not a whole plot line, not a whole like a split second Luke.
I do think that's
CGI the back of his head.
I think it'll be it. No, I think Mark Hamill even voiced it. Whatever happens to happen.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a moment, like you said, but it's going to be because Ahsoka takes the baby to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what's going to, the child or whatever. She's going to take him. There's no way they're going to name a whole episode after Luke when he's only going to be there.
Right. Or it could be something more like Luke is doing the Jedi, he's doing the Jedi training again, everything. And maybe the baby is just too young to be trained. And so when the baby goes to Luke, he gives him back to the Mandalorian and be like, he's not ready yet. I don't know. Well,
Yeah, I could see it. I'm only Ahsoka is what I'm seeing. Man.
Okay.
Is it rumors and everything?
Yeah.
Is it the wizard or the sorcerer? Because I'm seeing sorcerer.
Oh, you look okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a sword. Again, I looked at it and nothing. I didn't really want to memorize it.
What was that, Chris?
If it's sorcerer, then I'm going the opposite. I'm going. Who would be dark at this point that would be able to do it? Nobody that I know of.
Unless they're calling Moff Gideon the sorcerer.
Maybe.
Oh, he's kind of alluded to him having not necessarily being a Sith or a Jedi, but having
force abilities.
A connection.
Right.
Yeah.
A connection with the Force.
And that could be it too, and just totally go with who we've already established.
How badass would it be if it's called the sorcerer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wizard, I see Jedi. Sorcerer, I see
gotcha.
spells and cauldrons and stuff, right?
Yeah.
the Emperor.
Maybe because he has a dark saber.
Or
maybe.
Remember the rumor of the Emperor, or supposedly they were going to find out the origins of the Emperor's survival in The Mandalorian. Okay, that was a leak, or not a leak. That was like a rumor and all that stuff. So that could fit if we had a whole episode dedicated to the Mandalorian stumbling across why they were after the child, why they needed his. They were going to like dissect him to the point where they needed his blood and DNA or whatever it was, and it could be tied into the Emperor, which is a sorcerer. So.
Or it's completely throwing us off, and they are going to work a clone angle in it.
Right.
And the person that clones people is called the sorcerer because he works magic.
Maybe.
I'm just saying that's his nickname.
That could be. It could be a.
That's kind of a bait and switch, but I think that's probably. We take him to the sorcerer.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like the armor of the Mandalorian.
Yeah. Let's just take it down a notch and to get our expectations down to where
interesting.
It's not a
interesting. Nonetheless, so I think that's kind of cool. I would,
you know what's hard about the Mandalorian is we don't have history around it.
Right.
We could headcanon the heck out of the original trilogy timeline.
Yeah.
Even a lot of older stuff and a little bit ahead in the future, just because we've had all the old Legends stuff, right?
Right.
And we've had the movies to build off of these characters that we know. In the Mandalorian, it's really tough because we don't know any of them besides season 1.
Right. I was just thinking, Chris. On the timeline, the Battle of Jakku, where is this?
This is happening right before all that. Yeah.
So this is like leads up almost to the Battle of Jakku.
Yeah, so, we should be hitting that. Yeah.
But the Battle of Jakku, you had the entire Galactic Empire still intact, which is leadershipless.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out right now. We're at 5 years. Hold on, 5 years. Let me look at Battle of Jakku real quick.
Yeah.
Continue your discussion.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm thinking a little bit after because of this is warlords and remnants of what's left and the
is it though?
book.
Because I mean, some of the other titles. I mean, the Chapter 8 title alone alludes to there being still a presence of
It's 5 years, and here's the deal. So it's the same. It's the same as Mandalorian. So the perfect thing is it happens after Mando 1.
Gotcha.
And we're seeing a time jump here. Okay, I did see somewhere. I don't want to use the word confirmed.
Right.
I saw somewhere saying this is going to be 8 episodes with semi-time jumps within.
So maybe this is a first time jump?
Yeah, and season 1 wasn't without time jumps, right? When they were out hiding, that was months. That wasn't like we were here for a day.
Even though they had the same clothes, it was months, Cara Dune has that one pair of clothes.
That's exactly right. That's right.
And I'm cool with it.
The photos that we're seeing from season 2, it's the same outfit. So she has
same outfit, and it's fitting a little different. So yeah, they tightened her up a bit.
The chest piece is a little different. It's got different symbols on it. But
that's what it was. It was different symbols.
Yeah, but same stuff. It's the same armor. That's funny. Star Wars, nobody changes in Star Wars. It's great.
No.
Over years. Same
well, okay, wait.
Over years.
They changed 400 times so we can get a lot of figures. That's the only time they changed.
Maybe that's what
which Leia, is surprising.
Han, and they had all kinds. Chewie is the only one that didn't change.
Except in Solo.
That's right.
Yep.
So again,
the
when it gets closer, I'm sure that the actual if that chapter list is legit and whatever, I'm sure that we'll get that sooner than later, and then we can delve into all that stuff. Like I said, we can delve into of what we know of from season 1, nothing rumored or and stuff like that. So that's the fun
It's funny how that one word changed so much, right? I mean, Wizard, I had no doubt there was going to be a Jedi. Sorcerer mixes the whole thing.
Okay,
up.
Now that I think, like I said, I didn't really want to memorize it because again, I try to go in there spoiler free, but that's something that just kind of caught my eye. So Sorcerer, got it.
But it mixes it up either way because it could still be Ahsoka. It's a four. We're seeing I really think we're seeing a Force user. I'm still assuming Ahsoka. That's
yeah.
Because they would still call her a sorcerer. Well, she'd be a sorceress,
right?
Again, and old. Wouldn't she be?
Well, again, this is the time where everything came to fruition, right? So that we're in the lawless times of the Empire, meaning that there's warlords are taking over as far as the political stuff. But the stigmata of the Jedi should have to be lifted at this point too. You know what I mean? So
well, if they even know about him, right? Because the Mandalorian didn't know about him. The Armorer didn't really know, which was weird because Clone Wars weren't that long ago, right?
Yeah.
But that's been a Star Wars thing since day one, right? The people 19 years later.
Clone Wars so ancient, it's 18 years ago.
But again, we're talking about trillions and quadrillions of people, And we don't know warlords or defense people or anything in other countries. We don't even know them in our own state or country.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're not going to know. I don't know every cop in town.
Very true.
I'm not going to know the thousands of Jedi. There's 10,000 Jedi over a quadrillion people.
Right.
So that's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
different cultures, different beliefs, different. And every Jedi is not going to hit every planet. So yeah, that's.
I love it. I'm just ecstatic to even have that in our future.
So Mando Mike was saying maybe sorcerer equals Plagueis, which I don't think I don't know about that one.
No,
at this point, because of the Rise of Skywalker and all that stuff, I think the Emperor makes the most sense. I know that from the Aftermath books, he's his contingency plan was in a full effect at this point. Battle of Jakku's coming up to get rid of the Empire and create the First Order. Now we know that the Emperor's behind the whole thing. He's not dead. He's out there. He could be that Voldemort feeding off unicorns. He could be feeding off Force users to stay alive. So that's
I'm
why
watching
they
that
need,
right now.
Yeah. So
I mean, not this moment.
Like the Emperor could be feeding that the essence, so he can stay alive to do his plan. So that's why they need to dissect Force users. So I don't know. It's all interesting. It's all great. I love it.
There's a lot going on. I would love now that we're thinking that this cloner is trying to clone. Yeah, we talk about the Palpatine. Here it is. It links to Rise of Skywalker right there. The cloner is the sorcerer trying to work into Palpatine how to clone a Force user. That's what it is. That's why he needs the baby, because the baby is a clone. He wants to clone a Force user or use the baby as the template to test it.
Right.
One of the two, but that's where we're going. Cloning. Damn it. So many things. I don't have it set yet. Mando's hard.
Yeah.
So many ways to spoil your own expectations.
Yeah, exactly. So many ways I can not write this properly because there's nothing I say that's going to actually work on the screen.
Speaking of the Yoda species, right? We got a little bit more information on Yoda himself 200 years ago.
Yeah.
Segue.
Yeah.
How much do we dig that? Because we called that on the show for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
We've been saying there has to be Yoda. They haven't shown him, but Yoda's going to be the link to get us into the Old Republic stuff, and he's going to take us back time by time.
And look what we got.
Ease us into it.
We got concept art, and we got a brief description on StarWars.com, basically telling us that Yoda is involved in the High Republic, and he is doing what we know of Yoda to be doing: training, doing things like life lesson stuff, and involving younglings. Like he's very involved in training from the ground up. Not established Jedis or basically Yoda is not involved in the day-to-day politics yet, I think.
He's on the council.
But he's more in like this whole elusiveness stuff to like life lessons for the better good later down the line stuff. So again, in that little blurb, it says he's doing what we know him to be doing. Now, it didn't say anything like we're going to get more backstory. It's just we're going to get more Yoda being Yoda. Yoda being wise, being the master and stuff. So I was talking to some people, and they were like, well, if we get too much Yoda backstory, it's going to ruin the illusion of Yoda. And I said, well, I've been saying that for a long time, right? Yoda should never have his species named, and there should never be another one of them. There should all this stuff. But then we got the child, and I'm like, screw that. Oh, I kind of want to know now at this point. Maybe not all of it. I still want him to be this elusive just something that you could talk about for ages and not be like, no, it says here, this is what he does, and this is where he's at, and this is how it is. And book closed.
I wish they were going back and they would at one point Yoda was like a recluse until he got the right kind of training to push him forward into being wise, the wise counselor that he is. But like I had said that episodes ago when we first talked about it, I was like, what story?
Well, it had to be episodes ago.
I won. Yeah.
Yeah. 3 months.
Well, isn't it said that Yoda knows the dark side? Like he not practices it, but knows it. And I would love some even in the High Republic, they can explore some of Yoda's past. Like he's on the council, but maybe they're like I said, I'm just speculating, headcanon, right? Like talking like we would in line as we would. Would it be great to find out that Yoda, like I said, remember how Luke in the EU books, he was delving in the dark side, you wanted to know both, and he was driving them insane. Right. And Yoda warned him of this. Like he's the only one really warning him of don't go to the dark side because forever it'll dominate you and it'll corrupt you. You'll
dominate your destiny.
Right. And I would love to know that Yoda went through some real stuff.
He went through some. He went through some crap there.
Yeah.
Oh, like, you just opened it up.
Like,
dude.
see, I like
he's gonna know from experience.
Exactly.
Yoda doesn't stay dark, but it dominated his destiny because it opened up something in darkness.
Yeah.
Right. It opened it. He threw it off balance by practicing. Darkness.
And when he saw the Emperor rise and all these things happening, and he saw the weakness in Luke, in running the Dagobah, waiting for Luke or Leia, right? We don't know the twins and stuff, just to stop the Emperor. He couldn't do it himself because maybe he was too tempted to join, or not join, but like he would do more harm than good. And that carries over to Luke Skywalker and the sequel trilogy. Luke ran away because he would do more harm than good at this point. He knew it too. Yeah. And people go, why did he run away? He's like, that's why. I believe that's why. He created Kylo Ren in a sense, or he made Kylo Ren go off the deep end. And so he's like, I can't do any more here. That's not going. I can't. I'm going to destroy more than I'm going to save at this point. And that's why Yoda's vision came back to Luke in Rise of Skywalker or in Last Jedi and told him all these things, failure, and it's from life experience. Yeah, I think that's awesome to have Yoda doing that. Now, talk to me 5 years ago, I would be like, no, I don't want Yoda in this at all. I just want him to be this guy, little hermit, training Luke, and he did what he did, and that's it. But now I'm like, yeah, I'm digging it.
No, I need it.
I'm digging it.
You might have said that episodes ago.
I probably did. I think I have. I'm very stubborn in some aspects of Star Wars.
You are, and that has been one of them for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
You've been stubborn about Yoda.
Yeah.
I love the art that they put up, and I know it's just art, but like he's kind of like we said that he was a little bit more vibrant, and maybe he stood up a little taller, and
I was expecting more hair.
I have it up here in our interface here, the two concept sketches and stuff, and they have youth. He's a little bit youthful.
Now, the one of them is obviously from Attack of the Clones, right? It's obviously his pose.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
the other one is not.
Right.
And he's a little darker complexion, too.
Yeah, he's got like a little bit more muscle tone to him.
Looks like the Hulk. Yeah. It looks like Yoda got hit by some gamma radiation. And
wow.
You know what story he's going into, right? He's probably going to be in all of it. But the key here is the comic series that Daniel Jose Older is writing the story for is the story he's going into. So if our listeners don't know, we have Daniel Jose Older on at the end of October.
Yeah.
And we're doing that. They asked for us to go later on so we can talk about
correct. Things. Yeah.
So
he's coming on because after reveals have been public.
Yeah,
he's coming on to talk about.
I think the Yoda thing was a surprise to him. I was kind of watching on Instagram, and he's like, "Oh, well, since this is out of the bag now,
right?"
Because when we all spoke, it was kind of like,
"Yeah."
It's going to be. No, hopefully, we'll see. It could be a neat conversation with him to see where we're going with Yoda, and that'd be awesome.
And also, I was talking to some people too, and finding out how far this High Republic is going to go. Like I said, I know we've talked about this, and I know what Lucasfilm or Disney has said, StarWars.com has said. It's going to run the gambit. That was one thing, meaning all types of media. I know for sure we have the comics. I know for sure we have the novels, but we don't know if there's any live action or animated associated to this yet. Correct? We're still on that.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, that's fine.
It says multimedia, but really it's written.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was. Multimedia. Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go full Shadows of the Empire with it, with figures of video games, soundtracks, or anything like that.
And that's what I was going to say. I'd
be okay with that.
I actually do bet we get figures.
I bet you would get figures.
Yeah.
Just nothing announced yet.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think we'll get a movie unless the books. I mean, the book's only like 5% or less of the fans.
Right.
It's hard to tell.
And this is why I keep bringing it up, right? I don't think we're going to get figures unless it's some sort of visual, live action, or animated thing with it.
It's a perfect opportunity for them to go in and actually create a new animated series, something that is in
that's not Clone Wars.
This new era that's not. Yeah, it doesn't touch the Skywalker saga other than Yoda at all. It's a great opportunity for them to do something new.
I agree. It is a great chance, and to have there's no doubt, and learn new characters and fall in love with new people. That's what we need, right?
That's what it is. It's a new era, and a lot of people are saying like this should be Old Republic. It's like, okay, that's still a thing. This doesn't take place. This doesn't take in replace of Old Republic. This is just something new. Like I don't know why people think this is this is the new Old Republic that what Disney's doing.
No, they're still getting there. And Kennedy even said they have 25 to 30,000 years to go back.
Yeah,
right? They have all this time. She said they all know how far this goes back. It's fine.
Right.
But hey, let me tell you something. I heard Tim Zahn interview talking about Thrawn real fast. He was saying that the way he's writing it is he's being very careful not to touch the old canon, the old legend stuff. Like he hasn't changed the character one bit. He said he's thankful because Filoni knew the character enough to not screw with him. He kept him just the way he was written. And so he's intentionally, when he's writing all these books, intentionally not screwing with the original Heir to the Empire trilogy as of yet. Nothing has.
So it could still exist out there in the ether somewhere.
Like all this, the reason I said that is because the legend stuff, right?
Right.
They're called legends because we don't have the official story. Once we get the official story in this new canon, then it's not a legend anymore. People just don't understand.
Right.
It'll just have to be modified because like Rook is dead. And yeah,
he wouldn't be with Rook.
No.
And then it would have to modify the cloning wouldn't be necessarily a Spa-RT. We talked about it had to be a Kaminoan.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Interesting.
But a couple tweaks, nothing he's writing would tweak it. It would have to be because of other canon stuff or Lucas or movies,
Movies are the ones that really kind of like cemented everything in stone.
But I think that was pretty neat that he's being careful about that, which means it might come back. But anyway, back to the Yoda stuff.
Yeah.
As far as the picture is concerned, would you guys want it like The Mandalorian, like how it's kind of fast paced and kind of pushing the envelope, or do you feel like it should kind of go back and kind of tell a slower paced story like Game of Thrones?
Like politically, like a political series or a adventurous series. That's what you're saying.
You talking about High Republic?
Like
High Republic.
Yeah, High Republic. I apologize.
From what I've read on the concept of High Republic, I think we're going to get a little both, right? We're going to get the politicalness, but there's also the event, right? Or there's something that happens that turns the tide of everything, that makes to what we know of the Phantom Menace when we get to there. Maybe the Jedi Council at this point is more than 12 or 13 or whatever there is at Phantom Menace. Maybe it's the Jedis are looked at differently. Maybe they were looked at as bad, and then at Phantom Menace they became this council of many kind of stuff. So
we're going to see what truly terrifies a Jedi, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
About the High Republic.
Yeah, and I think Darth Nihilus is. I think they're gonna bring Darth Nihilus, not him himself, but there's followers or a cult like.
I thought there was that. Like, I know if my memory
is called the Niles.
Don't bring your member up.
Yeah, the bad guys are called like the Niles or something like that. So Darth Nihilus.
But there's a lot of them, like as many as
like
the
a cult,
Jedi
like
there are.
a following of them trying to bring his
like the Sith,
like the Sith Eternal. There we go.
Yeah. Maybe on a hot topic we can delve into some of the Old Republic things like Darth Nihilus and why that means. Maybe
we have Savage coming on, Star Wars Savage coming on in 2 episodes.
Well, there we go. That's that'll be our Old Republic
episode.
All right,
I like that.
Yeah,
I will learn stuff because I did not read all that Old Republic stuff. Just the Tales of the Jedi comics and stuff like that. But I didn't go any farther beyond that.
We'll rock it when Tommy.
Where's the Old Republic for Dummies book?
I need that
right here.
I need that.
Well, Wikipedia, if you really want some dummy stuff, go in there.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So no, that'd be awesome to delve into that because I think that's coming and I think it's deserved to be coming along. Yeah, man. Especially with the Darth Nihilus figure being announced, or not announced, but released today. So.
Yeah, that was out of control, right? That came out of nowhere, and I really didn't want to do that.
I know.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Do you think that's foreshadowing at all, or is it just okay?
I don't know.
Hey, great.
They did a Revan. They did.
I know that was foreshadowing.
Yeah,
there's no way putting all this Revan stuff out.
I mean, like
when was the Bane though?
I don't know. 3 It was like what was it?
No, it was about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was about all this. That was still doing stuff
pre-Disney. So yeah,
if they did a 6-inch Bane, then I'd be like, oh hell yeah.
And I don't want the one. And I don't want the Clone Wars BS Bane. I want the old. I do want the Legends Bane with the.
We need Malik. We need Malgus. We need Bane. We need Revan.
With Bane and these 6-inch trooper figures, you could do all the accessories like the armor that comes on and off. It could look 10 times better than the 3 3/4-inch figure.
Yeah, so that'll be cool. I think that's all foreshadowing. Yes.
I let me put it this way, Mike. I hope it's foreshadowing. You know,
I do.
Well, even when we heard the rumors of Darth Nihilus 6-inch being made, our heads go immediately like, okay, why? You know, it could just be like, here's just the gaming series. They're just going to throw it out. But no, I mean,
We don't have an age of Yoda, do we? Like in the story to be told.
700.
Yeah,
he's 900 now. 700? 200 years earlier.
900 when he died. So
this is 200 years before. So he's roughly 700. It's never like exact, right? He could be 900.
Okay, so in the timeline, can they have a Darth Nihilus? I mean, is that something that's?
Yeah, Darth Nihilus goes back to the Old Republic stuff, which is 3,000.
I know that, but I'm talking about year-wise. Okay,
the following could, but his following could be there.
Yeah, following.
They are saying though that this is not the Sith. Whatever it is that they're going up against is not the Sith. It is something different.
Yeah, and what would make them? Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So,
but it could be the growth of it. Like it could be like the birth of
Oh, not the birth. No, the birth was 30,000 years prior or whatever. But
when Obi-Wan says Sith are our specialty, and none of them have faced the Sith before. So.
In a millennia, which is 1,000 years, right? So, I mean, there's no Sith.
Is it really their specialty, though?
No. Not
so
Obi-Wan's a liar.
Is it really, though?
He's just being cocky.
Yep.
Well, that was from episode 1 on.
Right.
Pretty, even to the Vader fight. Episode 4.
Yeah,
he's pretty.
I want the picture to be slow. I want it to be slow in a fact that you have to watch every episode and like be dialed in to right. Yeah. That's how I felt with. I mean, that's how I felt about. I keep bringing it up, but like Game of Thrones to me was like something that I watched 3 or 4 times because I needed to know exactly what I was looking for. And then when it comes to like this, I'm like, dude, I'll be dialed in 100%. But if they're dropping an episode once a week, then it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
to
me, that would be the way to go. I doubt they'll go that route. Do you guys feel like they'd go that route?
It'll be an episode a week, but yeah. But I hope it's a slow. It'll be more political. I think we'll get whatever.
An hour long.
Well, I don't know what they're in the format they're doing. We only know books and comics at this point.
Right.
That's all.
So we don't know.
But if they do it, I'd take an hour 45 to an hour long. Each episode's going to be different, right? Like Game of Thrones.
100.
Yeah.
I'd want a 105, 116, 125. You know, I don't care. It's like I want it to be like that detailed to where it's like this is the depth that we're gonna go. We're gonna give everything to this, like they are with Mandalorian. I know the Mandalorian. They're the episodes are like 38, 40 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would hope that they would give a little bit more in detail with these stories.
Well, they can probably do a lot of detail if they're focused on one arc, right? Since like in Star, when you watch the films, you're usually in 3 sets of people, at least 2, right? Always going back and forth between stories. With Mando and the shows, you're not really in 3 different. You're in one person's arc, so you can get it done solidly in a half hour to 40 minutes. Where if you have 3, you're going to need 3 times that time. Right?
Sure.
Right. Well,
but it's that factor at the end of every ep that you were just like. I'm coming back for the next ep.
Oh, that's I'm glad we don't get to binge them. I'm glad we get that.
I am too. Right. I'm sorry. I like it this way. Yes, Scott.
You too.
In the chat, we've got Mando Mike. We've got Robert Voss. I think it's Voss. Sorry, Robert. We've got Douglas Tupper. We've got Gordon. He's in there. And generally everybody's really excited pretty much for it. Doug says history and lore is good. He just doesn't want anything that's going to cheapen the story of Yoda.
That
was
the point. That has been my point the whole time. Like you get too much into it, then all your preconceived notions about Yoda and how amazed, like he's such the top Jedi, or Chris can argue that about being a top Jedi, but who is. But again, it takes the mystery. I always associate it with the Bigfoot scenario. Bigfoot is amazing to go out and hunt. As soon as you find him, know what he is, okay, I'm done.
But 200 years prior, 200 years prior can enhance him.
Correct. Like I said, maybe some notions of why he knows so much about the dark side, why some things like there's some things that make. I want to come out with Yoda having more questions than answered. I think that's make more sense to me, because then I could take those questions here and we could discuss them here. And nothing is cement in stone, but we make sense of those, Right. That's what we've been doing for 44 years. So.
Mando Mike says that Yoda looks like a green Mark Wahlberg. Douglas Tupper says we definitely need another soundtrack, so he's willing to go the Shadows of the Empire route.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
remember when we were young and that happened, man, that was a big deal because we weren't getting anything like that. And we were, just to have a full-on toy, comic book, soundtrack for
game,
it. I mean,
everything. Yeah.
And I bought the Nintendo 64 for that game.
Man,
and
I still play it to this day. Because I cannot beat it on the Jedi mode. I can't do it. It's just
Marco. You also play D&D, so
hey man, you're not supposed to say that on here. Okay,
so I'm about to start playing.
And then I asked what everybody was excited to see in the High Republic, and Doug Tupper says Jedi in their heyday is what he wants to see the most. He wants to see
Jedi in their heyday. Let's go to Old Republic. That's where it was.
Yeah, that's what the trip is here, right?
Yeah.
We're finding conflict in an era where we didn't really know there was conflict.
Right.
With again, quadrillion people and how many millions of planets, you're going to have conflict constantly.
Yeah.
There's never going to be a time of relative peace, right?
Jade, see, this is why I tote Old Republic so much. And like when we get into it, I think you guys will really grasp onto it. And I think you already have to the point is that when the Sith Empire came back, they were gone for a long time. The Jedi were ruled and all that stuff. That was their heyday when the warring factions of the Sith Empire and the Jedi Empire, or the Jedi Republic, were at odds. I mean, you had thousands on each side. That is the time of like Game of Thrones, like Mike wants. That is the political side, who's switching sides, the backstabbing, all that stuff, because that leads into the Sith Civil War. That leads into the Rule of Two. That leads into what we know now. That to me is like more important than any story they could tell 200 years before. But again, I'm willing to give this a chance. I am. I have no choice but to give it the chance.
You don't have a choice. So, it's coming.
Ain't no giving it a chance for me, man. I'm sold.
Yeah, I'm in. I mean, again, books and comics. Well, books and comics, you give it a chance, right? Live action, you have to. You have to. That's given.
With all the stories and how basic they were that we have now, do you feel like they can bring the level of maturity up on these?
Oh, good question.
Yes.
I think they need to, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know, because they're aiming a lot of this with comics, and they have a lot of adult or young adult novels that are coming out with this. So I don't know if they're going to really go very highbrow with it.
I do in the regular novels. I think actually to that point, I think the regular novels and the comics will be very highbrow and adult, and I think the young adult novels.
The comics have been kind
specifically for them, like so everybody gets their own view of it. They're not leaving anybody out. I think.
Yeah, the comics have been kind of vicious and more adult oriented than any other Star Wars content, and they've always has been. Even the Dark Horse comics always been very violent, and to the point where they can do some stuff that they can't get away with.
If we go through, which book was it? It was like a horror. Last Shot, right? With Faison Gore and a gruesome tearing off of Wookiee limbs and having part droids and all that stuff. I mean, there's some stuff going on.
Yeah. I was just talking to the guys in the chat, though. I'm excited to see a villain that isn't a Sith. We haven't seen the Jedi go up against a real viable threat since the Yuuzhan Vong, and it's I'm excited to see this. Something that isn't a Darth or something that isn't
You're right, and the more that we talk about and the more that we do these things, see, I get into this head zone of like Sith versus Jedi, Sith versus Jedi. And I was like nihilist, and do all these things and how you play. But you're absolutely 100% right. As long as you don't get so far from Star Wars, right? Like, let's not get the Klingons in here, okay?
Well, I think the villain would have to be very cunning and not in the sense that he's going to use power against the Jedi. I think more or less he's conniving and very, slippery in the sense of being able to attack them without going head to head with one. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's kind of like how Sidious took over, right? He didn't go head to head. He came up and took him.
Well, he learns from the past mistakes of the Sith and goes, I'm going this route. We're going politically with Plagueis' guidance.
And the Sith exist in this time period too. It's not like they could be behind everything. They could be in
the shadows.
In the shadows.
Could be in there doing things too. We don't.
How old was Plagueis?
Unless it's.
Well, he's a Mun, so I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, because I
read
read
back in the book, which is not canon, but they should mention something about what's Tenebrae? What's his last? What's
Tenebrae?
Tenebrae. Well,
unless they're standing behind a shadow, like a foreshadow.
Yeah, they could be like the Sith could be taking a back seat, waiting for this other threat to to kind of like down or destroy the Jedi, so the Sith can pick up the remnants also. So we can hear about this in the High Republic, like the Sith taking a back seat on that and letting this other force come in.
No, I was gonna get that.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, Joey, go ahead.
What if this new enemy is like the banking cartels, like they are on Plagueis? How they're talking about how that banking they're
clan?
Actually running the banking clan.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe that's the new.
It's gonna have to be something political like that, trying to take them down.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be part of it. You can't go through a whole series in Star Wars without some political.
Well, if it's the Jedi that's what the Jedi most fear. So
it's going to be included, right? It would be the Jedi's worst fear will come at the end of one of the books.
What is the Jedi's most not existing? What would be the Jedi's?
That's the trip, right?
It's not what they fear. It's something that terrifies them. So it doesn't necessarily have to be an overall ominous feeling. It could just be something that jumps out of the shadows and says, "I'm gonna mess you up," you know?
Yeah. Oh, Rancor.
That's right. Maybe it is a force wielding Rancor. That would terrify me.
Wow.
That's not happening until a certain point of view Return of the Jedi.
That's true.
That's true.
That's the truth.
We're going to hear the Rancors.
Oh, man. I just wanted to get some lunch. I just wanted some lunch.
Oh, man, I never get a Jedi.
Those midichlorians are tasty.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
We'll move on from that.
Okay, if we get a Wampa story in Empire, I guarantee you there'll be a Rancor.
Absolutely, there will be.
In the
there has to be.
They will, absolutely.
Has to be.
100%. You're going to get.
I don't need a Force-sensitive Rancor.
No, we're going to get the Rancor story.
If they make us listen to a 2-hour-long story on a clue horn, I mean, we got to have something about a Rancor.
I don't hate the clue horn caper.
That was a little elongated.
It was long.
It was too long, and it could have been cut down, but that wasn't a horrible story.
Oh. No.
Let's switch gears to the collecting world real fast because we've got. Like I said, Dark Nihilus came out today, right? It dropped today for GameStop. So anybody who hasn't, I think they have plenty of stock. So go out there and GameStop and pre-order your Dark Nihilus 6-inch figure. But was it Hasbro PulseCon or PulseCon?
PulseCon, a 2-day Hasbro Pulse event, September 25th and the 26th.
So so in a few weeks, I think you have to. I don't know if it's a live stream or what. I don't know. There's really no details on what they're going to do. If you have to be a member or not, I'm assuming you have to be a Pulse member. And I am assuming that you have to be logged onto the Pulse site for the live stream. Now, it is mentioned that the Comic-Con exclusives are going to be available during this time.
Yes, there's going to be a special action figure set, 501st ARC Troopers, Echo 5s and Jesse. Right. There's going to be the Wampa in the vintage collection package, which I'm all over.
And that's the 6-inch Wampa, right? That's the
6-inch Wampa in the classic vintage packaging, which that excites me because I'm a nerd like that.
Get that.
Yeah. And then the big set, which is all 6-inch Black Series. It is the Endor Adventure set, which is Luke, Han, Leia, all in their Endor garb with ponchos and trench coats and removable helmets, plus a speeder bike with Poplu.
Yes.
Kenny Baker's other role.
Yes. And Yakface just confirmed that Wave 27 is going to have, separate from this, is going to have Endor, Luke, Han, and Leia.
Okay.
No mention of Poplo.
Yeah.
Poplu. No mention of Poplu. So the only way you can get him is with this set, and that's supposed to be like $100 or something. But
and then the last announcement, I believe it was Cad Bane.
Yeah,
wasn't he? Isn't he part of all this also?
Yes, because there is the exclusive packaging that comes around there, and Joey actually saw that Cad Bane at our local action figure flea market, so called Frankenstein's down here. He saw it.
Tell us about it, Joey.
And it must have been one of those things where someone got it for a review, and
well, it wasn't me that saw it. My daughter was there with her boyfriend.
Well, never mind then. Moving on.
Check this out though. She asked him about it because she asked him about it, and he said that he got it from the UK. That's how he got it.
Weird.
Okay.
And he had it for $100.
Yeah, it's obviously a review because these guys that Hasbro sends all these things for reviews. Like they actually need them. You know what I mean? Like they're going to sell out. No one needs to review these things. But A promo.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Does $100 that doesn't seem out of control.
No, because that's 5 figures. Or
no,
four
no,
figures.
No, it's just for him, Cad Bane.
Cad Bane
I thought you meant that set.
No, it was $100 for just
Tebow.
that one Cad Bane.
I thought it was 150 for that Cad Bane.
No, he's saying in Frankenstein's.
Yeah, it was 150 is the picture they showed us.
Oh shit! Well, no, it's one.
PG-13.
Sorry. Going for PG. I was going for it.
So Pulse is selling that for 150.
No,
no. I'm just wondering, $100 for an exclusive in that packaging with because he's going to have the Tebow and not when you get a regular release, he's getting a regular release, right?
Yes,
yeah.
but I think without Toto the droid. So
right,
without Tebow or
Toto.
Yeah,
because of the little exclusive droid.
Right. Is it TODO?
I think so. I will double check because that's what the internet is for. Toto, TODO.
Oh, okay, got it.
Joey, did they get to like hold it the package and look at it, or was it just on the shelf where it was like
it was on the shelf? It's the same guy that I saw I went about maybe 3 weeks ago. He already had a Beskar Mandalorian that he was selling for $60.
Yeah, and that doesn't seem honestly. Those don't seem out of control. From what I've seen on this collector crap.
Right.
I would pay that. I would pay that for a pop.
Come the nightmare from this PulseCon, which I'm anticipating a nightmare trying to get anything.
Yeah.
You watch these prices skyrocket on eBay and all that stuff because, yes, individually they're going to be released, and that again is a nightmare trying to get those. But again, with Cad Bane's little extra droid in the packaging and stuff like that, so. If you really want it, I don't know. You could probably still sign up for Pulse, and it's going to be PulseCon, and it's
don't encourage that.
So.
Is it that bad in the collecting world to where somebody would buy 2, 3, and then turn around and sell that character for 150 to 200?
Yeah. Like I've been doing this collecting as a toy collector since '91, and it has been that bad since day one. So yes, it absolutely.
You could probably go on eBay right now and type in SDCC Pulse exclusives right now, and then
probably up for pre-order
for like $500-600 right now.
Yeah,
and not even knowing that they're going to get one.
So
and I did have to get the Chewbacca concept series pop like
yeah.
On somebody else's confirmed pre-order, which is crap.
It's the whole reason why I haven't got a Baroness yet.
Yeah.
For how much was it at Target?
It was $30 at Target.
$29.99.
Yeah, $30 at Target and $100 at Frankenstein's.
The same guy, at Frankenstein's was selling it for $100.
Wow. Yeah. No, I'm hoping that we get as a Pulse member some kind of I don't know, not necessarily a pre-order, not preferential treatment either. Just make enough for people to get one and stick with that limit.
Yeah.
Stick with that limit, one per address,
yes.
Not one per email address, one per physical address.
Yes.
And they can tell in their system how many people are actually logged into a computer at a time or as they get out and how many people complain. They can figure out how many people are trying to buy it.
Yeah, it always baffles me, these pre-orders, when they sell a pre-order sells out within minutes. Like, you're pre-ordering these things. I mean, and they're months away. Like not like pre-order for a next week release. These are months away. You couldn't just take them that in account and then make that much and then ship that and then do a second wave. I mean,
now you know what? It would make so much sense for them because here's the deal: everybody's trying to buy them. Yeah. Everybody, and they don't care. They have a limit. They're like, we're going to make this many because that's what we have a budget. Blah 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 blah. If you made 5 times that, they're all going to buy them on day one because everybody's thinking they're going to be rare.
Correct.
And boom, you make a killing on it. And you can probably do that about 3 or 4 times without everybody catching on.
Yeah.
And after that 4th time, you're kind of
because otherwise you're going to do it like HasLabs and just, okay, at this date, we're going to make as many as that people order, and we're going to charge you X amount of dollars, and that's what we're going to make and ship.
Do it.
And if they did that from now on, I would not mind because I don't care about stepping another foot in another store or battling any of these collectors anymore. I
agree.
Done. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Well, what I was saying was that does that give them the opportunity to increase prices after a year to say, okay, now everything that we want is going to be $25.99 instead of $20.99 or whatever. It's like
they're already toying with that because I mean there was a few figures that were $23. Plo Koon and Kit Fisto was $23.99, right, or 21 or something like that on Pulse. So it wasn't 19. Like, why those 2 figures? You know what I mean? Like the tentacles are more plastic. I mean,
I was just thinking that.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't have said tentacles, but yes.
Well, I find it funny. I find it funny because a buddy of mine who is an avid fisherman. I'll go off subject a little bit, but he's an avid fisherman and he collects $100 swim baits. And guys will turn around and sell that for $300 on the market, eBay or on their things. And it's a shout out to my friend Jay, but that it's a trip and they don't even fish. They buy the package and then turn around and sell it right for, $300 marked up on a price. And it's just crazy.
That's capitalism. And that's what our society allows. And it's also supply and demand. So,
yeah. So, I mean, the one thing about the convention exclusives when Hasbro was doing this for Comic-Con in the past is whenever the items go on sale for the conventions, they're available to be shipped the next day.
Right.
So with these, I'm hoping they do the same thing, that it's because in the past with Comic-Con, it's been, there's a specific date of release and then about a week and a half later, you have the item in your hand.
Right.
So it's not a pre-order and wait for months and months and months like regular Pulse.
Right. But also that tells me that they have a set number on hand too.
Yeah, that worries me.
Again,
but they've also started this CAPTCHA thing too to try and prevent bots from buying, which is annoying as shit. Yes, I can tell you how many streetlights there are in this picture, for God's sakes.
Right.
Does that count as a crosswalk? Is that a car?
Right.
Oh, I hate that. Is that?
I find it funny that a bot is asking you if you're a bot.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
The only way to combat this is make more toys. That's it.
Simple.
And they would sell. They would sell like hotcakes.
They're so afraid, and this is what it is, right? Hasbro is so afraid of the sequel toys sitting on the shelf. The Poe Dameron that I still see Poes and Rays on the shelf today. Like, I haven't seen those in literally years. And all of a sudden, why now are they popping up again? Well,
99-cent stores have started getting a bunch of the 3 3/4 inch figures.
Yeah.
I was over at one today and they had Last Jedi figures and Rogue One figures in mass. And I'm like,
Black Series?
The small 3 3/4 inch, just 5 point of articulation figures. They didn't sell, so now they're moved over to 99-cent stores. So it's we're still not buying everything that they're putting out there because, quite frankly, that stuff was kind of garbage anyway. It wasn't. They weren't good. But the Black Series, they put time and effort into, and they're focusing, like these convention figures. They're focusing on characters we want.
Right.
So make them. Make 100,000 of them. Yeah. You're going to sell them.
It baffles me that they're doing that Endor set. I know that we need those figures, but it makes more sense that it be the 40th anniversary Return for that to come out, and that they would continue the Empire, more of a theme coming up. But again,
to me, it would be a supply and demand. Like when they did the Child and how much they saturated the market after they put out a Child without feet. And that thing sold out everywhere.
Oh yeah,
and then
he's right here. This Child Without Feet is dope as hell.
Yeah, he's great.
I know that. But what I'm saying is when the story's being made and what they need to do with these characters to get it out and to get it out to everybody in the masses, it's like I feel like the only reason why they hold back on flooding the gates is because the backlash that they're going to get on these toys sitting on pegs.
Yeah, they're afraid. They're absolutely afraid. They don't have their ear to the ground on what we actually will buy. Anything original trilogy we will consume. Anything.
If only there were some Star Wars podcasts or toy podcasts or anything they could actually check out and do research.
How about
right here?
I haven't found a darn Star Wars podcast.
Just look at what the feeding frenzy is on these Force Fridays or whatever, and look at all these complaints about
where's the product?
One case per store, and there's 15 to 100 people in line to get that one case.
People are getting punched.
Yeah,
it's not only Star Wars though; it's also GI Joe. And
GI Joe has been
now
the 6-inch GI Joe stuff is going crazy, and there's a rumor going around today that Cobra Island set that includes the Baroness has been discontinued. That they might get one more shipment. Each store might get one more, and that's it. So I don't know if it's true or not. This isn't a G.I. Joe podcast, so I'm not going to delve in.
But that just tells you the mentality of, like I said, the supply and demand is not met. And I don't know if this is on purpose or they just have so much product that just can't worry. They put out whatever and they just move on to the next one.
No, banks pull the trigger, and they, like you said earlier, they don't put their ear to the ground. Banks are pulling the trigger on what's to go out and what isn't to go out.
Yeah. Well,
it sucks.
I'm getting depressed talking about toys now.
Yeah, we killed that last show.
Yeah, we did that last show.
We keep blasting the toys.
And there's more coming out. But again, PulseCon, September 25th, 26th. So I'm sure that we'll have updates on our... Well, check out our website, sarlaccdigestpodcast.com. I'm sure we'll have a whole breakdown of what's happening that day, too. So
I'm sure.
Let's get on to the gaming real fast. So, real fast, if anybody plays Sims, I've played it in the past. I played pretty much from Sims 2, 3, and 4. It's a very addicting simulation game. It's a waste of time, but it's fun. It's fun.
So it's fun when you get Rosebud. When you get Rosebud.
Exactly.
I don't know what that means, but I think I want to sign up now.
Need to play Sims. Well, there's Sims Bot 2. You can go to Bot 2 on The Sims and experience, Galaxy's Edge on it. And
if you can't go in person, you might as well go Sim style.
Exactly. And the infomercial on it was amazing. It had everything. But what's cool too is that there's plot lines in it. Hondo's in it, of course. Rey and Vi and Chewie and Kylo Ren and the First Order stuff. And with these expansions, what it is like I don't think it's 100% you're playing in there, but you go visit Batu and you interact and you take that stuff home to your home and you build stuff that you learn from Batu. So you can start building your house in Sims, Star Wars style. It
would be great if you can actually go there and build a saber.
Yeah, you can. You can build a saber. You can. And droids. You can do it all. I'm telling you, it's like I said, we said this off camera. It's Dwight's Second Life character. That he's the exact same person in real life as the Second Life. So.
Yep. In his second life.
Yeah.
You got the little Sim character in his backyard, and he's got the little R2 unit. Yeah. He's doing it, or the BB unit.
Yeah, you're playing somebody that went to Batu and bought all the stuff, going home without going to Batu in real life. So, I'm a sucker. I'm getting it. It's an expansion for Sims 4, and I'm getting it because I just want to see it. I like
never be able to drink blue milk.
No, I love Batu so much. Like again, when the day it opens, I'm going to be very, very hard pressed not to be there or try to be there if I can get a season pass again. But yeah, so that's exciting to me. And of course, Squadrons is on pre-order, and that comes out. I forgot when the date comes out. I have to look that up. I know it's on our website on that. So I will be on Squadrons a lot. So anybody who wants to play on PS4.
When we do that, again, we do that on PS4 as well. But whatever we do, let's just put all our gamer names out there. Let's get everybody playing with us. I want to go into some Squadrons.
You can't link up both. You can both like consoles, right? That's not available.
Well, if it's cross-platform, so I think it will be cross-platform.
Call of Duty and Fortnite are.
Yeah. If they're smart, it'll be cross-platform. And
okay.
So with which game is that one?
Squadrons.
Squadrons.
The flight simulator, dogfighting.
That is what I am absolutely the worst at in video game play. So I don't.
Scott gets picked
up anyway. So what?
Can I be a co-pilot?
No, you fly straight.
Okay, Scott gets picked last. I won't get picked at all.
I'll be the gunner. Can I be the gunner?
Look, we just gotta go in there. Make sure everybody has microphones on. We'll stream this show. We'll Twitch it.
Scott just ran into another asteroid.
I'm excited to actually have a Sarlacc day or whatever. And like I said, if we can do like how Call of Duty is and do squads and make a Sarlacc squad and just get as many people as we can on there to fight for under that
name.
Absolutely.
Go in there, talk trash, line talk, and everything. And just record it and take clips of the day. Oh, that's happening.
We have so many friends. We'll have 5 people on our team.
Yeah. I have a few.
I'm very good at these games too, so I'm very competitive, Scott.
I'm not.
I can just see us in a dogfight. I can see us in a dogfight, and Scott's just kind of like randomly flying.
Just fly straight. Scott.
I'll just fly in circles.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, don't leave your wingman, Scott. Don't leave your wingman.
Scott and Joey just fly straight. Draw the enemy
fire. Which one's my wingman? They all look the same.
Draw the enemy Are we selling it now? I mean, everybody's ready for this show, right?
Yeah, right. We're good.
Ready for that show.
Let's go into. We got a book drop. We got a book review. Probably one of the most anticipated books in this group, and I know somebody here that's a real fan of Thrawn.
I like him. He's all right.
New book drop, and you read it, Chris?
Yeah, well, I listened to it.
You listened to it, Chris?
I do have the hard copy. I will read it because I like to go back and go through and make my notes and stuff before.
The blue page hard copy, the blue outline.
Yeah,
awesome.
I got it. I had to get it. That's too cool.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Well,
what you think? I have all of them. Okay, dig it. I'm gonna try and keep this spoiler free and fast.
Okay.
Thank you.
Whoa. I think you missed the spoiler free part.
Spoilers on
got it. How do I kick him out again? 3 dots. Okay, I can't do it. You have control. No, okay. Before this book, it was really tough for me because I've loved Vader forever, right? And I really love Obi-Wan too. I mean, my favorite characters are right in this realm, and Thrawn's been in there. But Vader's always been number one. My son asked me, a couple months ago, who's your favorite character? And I'm like, it's tough between Thrawn and Vader now. Vader kind of has the upper hand because I get to see him live action all the time. He's been there my whole life, blah, blah, blah. But I get a lot of Thrawn stuff, right? From the Legends to the new canon. This book has it's Thrawn. Thrawn's my favorite character. It's taken over. And I know that's for a lot of people that love Star Wars, it's tough because they don't even read the books or watch the cartoons. They're like, how can your favorite character not be in these movies? Right. Well, it is. He's the best freaking character ever. And now this book right now, it takes place, to give you a timeline, during the Clone Wars, I would say. Okay. I say that because there is a cross with the Alliance's book. So you know that it takes place, at least part of it, during that time. Is this
a continuation from the trilogy that we just got? Or
prequel. Prequel.
This is a prequel.
Remember, Alliances goes back in time to the Clone Wars. Usually you're taking place during the Empire. So Alliances goes back. This book touches a little bit of time right in the beginning of Alliances as well.
Okay.
So, but it's part of that's the current time. So in this book you get current time, which is right about the Clone War time right there. Plus you get young Thrawn.
Memories.
Yes, memories.
Okay, I was going to say, so well before he was brought on.
You see him in school. You get to learn about the Chiss family, the hierarchy, how they work.
That was a little confusing. I almost feel like I need to read it again or listen to it again.
I'm halfway through the second time because of it.
Yeah.
Because I spent so much time in the first bit trying to figure out how is this working? What planets am I on? Where am I in the unknown region? Who are these aliens? And who are these? Because there's 3 female leads. So it makes it tough because they're all different ages. You have a young Skywalker, not a Luke Skywalker. Right. If you read the books or listen to us, a Skywalker is a navigator on a Chiss ship, okay, that are force sensitive until they grow out of it. Anyway, you have a young female Skywalker, obviously, because they're all female. Then you have one that used to be a Skywalker that's taking care of this Skywalker. And then you have Arlani, who we know from before. From the other books, who I love Arlani, and even more so in this book. And you get to get her and how close her and Thrawn are. And I don't mean like close as in a love connection. I mean close as in respect and career and that kind of thing. They just really, you can tell they're not lovers or anything like that. They're just really deep connection between the two of them. But anyway, I spent so much time trying to figure out if these younger girls, one of them was Arlani, because they all have different names as they change families. And you'll learn that in the books is they don't necessarily.
Yeah, that was confusing.
Mithron Urodo, right, is his name.
Right.
The myth is basically the family. That's the family name, the myth. And there are 9 ruling families. Huh. I'm going to kind of break it down like this. It's kind of spoilery, but it'll kind of help you if you're listening to it, okay? Thrawn starts out not in a family. He has another family, a lesser family. He gets brought to the attention of someone in one of the 9 families, the myth, and say this would be a good merit adoptive. It's good for the family. There's merit adoptives that can be brought in because they're great. They're really strong students. They're warriors. They're whatever, right? They come in and it brings merit to the family. You also have trial adoptives that are in the family. Then they can get asked to go through the trials. And there's like a Jedi trial basically. And then they can become a trial adoptive, which puts them higher in rank in the family. Then they can become like a distant, what's it called? Not distant blood, but a distant family or whatever it's called. I'll have to look it up again. I forget. But a distant relative. And then that puts them in the blood. Now, everybody past them, like say if Thrawn was brought into that piece, every one of his offspring would be now in the myth. They wouldn't have any other name. They would just be part of it.
Interesting.
So it's neat how they all work. And all the families, they can make deals during the book and say, I want you over here on this family. We'll give you this. and they can bounce.
It's like a professional sports teams.
I was just gonna say you get.
It's like NFL over here.
Dude, and then we learn about the unknown regions. We learn about and the Chiss homeworld and how they have it's not just like one world. They have the Chiss capital. Then you have the expansion fleet. That's where Arlani and Thrawn really usually are out in space. They're looking for expansion and exploring and stuff like that. I guess you would call
right? Umbara is their homeworld.
No, Chisilla. I can't even say it. Chisilla.
Okay.
No, Umbara is the Shadow Assassins.
Got it.
But there's a couple of different planets they run. I don't want to spoil that either about the capital. But anyway, you learn quickly why they would be with the Empire. Okay, or not quickly. You learn throughout the book why they would be with the Empire, why he would go to the Empire for help.
Okay.
Against things in the unknown regions. And I also learned through this whole thing, he will never ever go First Order. I'll let you know that. So there is a slight difference in Empire and First Order.
Right.
And he would not do First Order. I promise.
I kind of felt that way in book 2, but you go on.
Yeah, this one cemented that for me. He's just not the type. You get a lot of cool things about Thrawn. You realize that he's really out to do the best he can, and he's got this special talent. Even in through the Chiss, he's a legend, right? Like he's becoming in the Empire. He's already there, and you'll hear commanders, Socorro, right? Is that the name? Samacro.
Yes. Samacro. Yeah.
I take it because if you watch Game of Sons of Anarchy, it's Sam Crow. I had to add an A in there. It's Samacro. Okay. Right. Samacro is kind of like he doesn't love Thrawn. Like he's not like this guy is great, but somebody is arguing or really worried about something, and he's like, Thrawn's with us. We're gonna get through it. It's really not
respect him.
But exactly. And that's kind of how it is. He drives everybody nuts because he has no political skill whatsoever still.
Right.
Even with the Chiss. But he's a legend. But still, I say the 9 families, some of the patriarchs see him as a threat to them.
Right.
Because he can either bring greatness to them or he can completely crush them.
Right.
They're not sure because he's so wild that he does so many crazy things.
Right.
And man, you just fall in love with him throughout this whole movie or this whole movie. I said movie in my head. That's why I say that.
I love it.
I love it. And I see it.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I can see it. That's why it's different to me. I love these things. Yeah, it's phenomenal. I wanted to say so many things right now. What can I say about the unknown regions? Okay, how about this? Did you know in the unknown regions, they don't use droids?
Okay.
Like, that's why Thrawn is so into the Clone Wars type stuff in the other books.
It didn't dawn on me.
He explains to one of the girls, he's all, so that to pilot, because that's why they have navigators.
Right.
They have navigators and Skywalkers. People have other places have navigators. Chiss have Skywalkers as their navigators. They don't use the machines to do their work. They have machines, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But nothing that would be AI enough to think and do things.
So they're almost beyond AI.
And they think it's completely wild that there's a clone war going on with droids fighting one of the sides.
Right.
They think it's completely wild, asinine. And it's so like, you realize this is a whole different part of the universe, and they're completely thinking this other side, and they live in the chaos. They don't call themselves the unknown regions. They're home. Right. I forget what they called the other side, but it's basically something like that. Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, you learn a lot. I want to say so much stuff, and I will on Hoth Topic. Hoth Topic, I'm going full on spoiler review of it. It'll go 30 minutes. But then I'm going to do a whole nother episode just about Thrawn and why he's my favorite character. Cool. I'll tell you what, it's phenomenal watching him. And you do feel like Scott and I have talked a few times. Scott sees Thrawn, and it does make sense, especially with Eli in the picture, that it's Sherlock Holmes and Watson, right? Very much to that. When Thrawn's by himself, even with people, though, take away the feeling part. But if you guys watched House MD on Fox for years, right? Mm-hmm. He's got this way about him where he's not good with people necessarily. He rubs people the wrong way, but he always gets the job done for a certain reason.
Gotcha.
And it's not always for the reason of helping people. It's just because it's the job.
It's a puzzle.
And it's the puzzle. I'm going to put together the puzzle. And that was always House's thing.
Right.
I see Thrawn more that way now after this book. Yeah, not to the point where everybody hates him because he's an ass. Like House was, right? And House hates people. Not like that quite, but it's similar, at least in his.
Like you said, they're happy. He's on their team.
He's happy there. Yeah. You don't want him as your enemy, but you also kind of don't want him with you either.
Coming after you. Yeah.
Even whenever I say I think Thrawn is more like Sherlock Holmes, it's not every aspect of Sherlock Holmes. It is the puzzle the puzzle pieces and figuring it out, the way he interacts with his Watson and
getting,
exactly. Yeah. And you don't see inside his mind until you're viewing his actions through Eli Vantu. And that's what you're seeing with Sherlock. You're viewing his actions through Watson. So it's very Sherlockian, if that's a word, in that way.
It is now.
Works here.
Yeah.
It's like Sarlaccian. We say Sarlaccian.
Exactly. But at the same time, Sherlock Holmes is also, a high functioning sociopath who I don't get that feeling from Thrawn. But
I see him more on the spectrum of like having Asperger's, type of thing. Sure. And saying, trusting himself, but having these things, I just not knowing how to act with people. And he even says in the book, and they call him, Arlight tells him, you're just going to get crushed here politically. And he's all, I know, I can't figure it out. It's something I have to master it. He's all, warfare is one. Oh, you'll see in the book that he screws up, and he mentions it. That's why I love Thrawn, man, because he'll take accountability if he hoses up. He mentions things he messes up, and he messes up one planet because he tried to play politics. The next time is war, right? And that's what the difference is. He can't handle the political. He'll make a fool of himself and his family. But you get him in combat, then he runs it, but don't get him into any kind of political stuff. And then you find out later there's, they know that too, and they're helping him with that. So,
well, Vintage Rebellion has joined us in the live chat here, and he says, hopefully we get more into the Grisks in this new Thrawn trilogy. Imagine a semi-remake of Heir to the Empire combined with an extragalactic invasion.
Yeah.
And then he gives us one of these emojis.
I'll give it to you. Yeah. They're setting the Grisk up hard. There they are, because it starts out, and Scott, I don't know how far you're with this part, but when they get to the other they get to the other aliens, other species, I should say, they don't call themselves aliens either, because they're there. I don't know how much I should say there. I'll let it be. But, they're basically, they're under the control of someone else, and the Chiss aren't used to that, right? And they're like, why is everybody coming? Why would anybody come near us, or why would they fight here? None of this makes sense. And the Chiss are very much, but these other species are going against their norm. And
I'm right about there. I'm right about there where they're discovering.
Yeah, and it never quite gets any deeper, Scott. Just so you know, it's not. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But anyway, I happen to figure out. I know that the Grisks are there. I know that because they set it up in the other books. What the Grisks do, right?
Okay, right.
So I'm feeling it. I'm not saying that it comes out in the
at book, least in book 2 they did, right?
Within this new trilogy, we will get the Grisks 100%.
Nice.
And then when they finish this one, they're going to go and we're going to get some kind of, like he said, Heir to the Empire type of thing, or the Yuzan Vong War. Okay,
yeah.
But with Grisks, and that's what's going to happen because I think that's popping soon. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, so many cool things. The droids, the Chiss world.
I did, like I told you in our chat. I'm actually started listening from book 1.
Nice.
Because I didn't listen to, because you came on and you did a book review, and I said living vicariously. I'm just sitting there going, you know what? I need to engulf myself with this, and I really need, especially when we had Mark Thompson on. I mean, and he brought that voice in, and the book kicked off with it. I just I sat back, and I think I went to 4 chapters in nothing. Just flew by, and I'm really engulfed in it.
Dude, I love the beginning, how it starts out.
Yes.
In a galaxy beyond far, far away.
Yeah. And
you're out of your mind, you just changed that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But only Timothy Zahn could change that.
Yeah, and it made it made sense that it would be him. And I'm telling you, this book right now is I'm halfway through a second. There's no people we know. It's just Thrawn and his people and these different aliens, and I'm in love with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and that's not common for me to be able to be through all these books and not have any kind of familiarity with anybody. But I'm familiar with Thrawn, so.
And Aralani.
It helps. And Aralani, and I do dig on Aralani.
Nice. Well, no, I'm looking forward to those hot topic episodes that you break it down, and I feel like taking notes on it. Especially timeline stuff.
I might do that on this second go when I'm going through the regular book. Yeah. So I want to do this one pretty in depth because I'm digging it that much. And I really think everybody needs to really get into this character because I'm sure we're going to see him live action. Want to learn it now before you have to learn it.
Right.
And the thing that got me even more pumped was out of nowhere. Like I told you last time, my 19-year-old's reading them, just finished reading them.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Right. He's ready. I told him, I said, I'm going to get a Chimera tattoo right up my forearm. Right. And then, because like the shape of the Star Destroyer, like the bottom there, it'll fit. He's like, oh, I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it up my arm and wrapping it around it with the heads. I'm like, shut up. Like,
who are you?
Yeah. I'm like, where'd this go? But again, it happened naturally. It wasn't forced on him for me. Just this ended up happening.
Right.
All right, dig it.
That's awesome. Well, no, that's cool. So yeah, that's gonna be another trilogy. So 6 books total, right?
At least. And it was cool about this one because he was saying recently Timothy Zahn's done a whole thing about his memories, writing all the books, starting with Heir to the Empire and going through Outbound Flight and the Hand of Thrawn series and all of that. So he's written a lot of books with Thrawn. It wasn't just the Heir to the Empire.
He's the only one that got to flesh out this character. I wonder how much influence that he had on Rebels.
None.
He
said Filoni understood the character and just ran with it. He didn't mess with it.
Of course he did.
That's awesome.
Of course he did.
That's why Filoni is George Lucas Jr., man.
Exactly.
You don't mess with
that is so
Filoni.
Reassuring.
That is so Filoni.
They didn't give Zahn a contract for these last 3 books. The first 3, they made him do book by book. That's why they all feel separate, and there's not really a huge setup at the end, right? This one they gave him a whole trilogy.
Got it.
Again,
so
like
he
did
can
on the air.
marinate it through. Got it.
And he can set up at the ends, and he can do things, and he can mix around and crisscross and do whatever
that's going to be exciting.
Got it.
That's going to be exciting.
It's starting out fantastic because this book is up in my top right now.
It's cool.
Hey Chris, thanks for not sharing too much because I'm starting the book Friday. I have it, but I have. Dude, when I go to nights, I want
to get in so hard into the capital of the Chiss world. I want to get really into it because that's when you get. Every light bulbs go off. You're like,
oh,
nice.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to call on Joey because he hasn't said much and he's had his hand up in our feed for the last hour.
That was way back in the Mandalorian segment.
Oh, you were frozen.
Well, we're an hour and 16 minutes in and his hand is still up. So what's going on, Joey?
I heard a rumor about that because tomorrow is the first game of the NFL season.
Really?
And I heard. I mean, I don't think it's a real one because you guys haven't heard nothing.
No.
But a possible small teaser of the Mandalorian season 2 trailer during the game.
That's a great point because you know what they do? They do trailers for trailers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Teasers for trailers.
TV spots make so much sense at this point.
I didn't realize there was a game tomorrow, Joey. So our guess I think the trailers this weekend during the opening of football, I bet you, and on Sunday Night Football, or it might wait till Monday night. It was mid-month, right? If we have football again, if they're doing Monday Night Football, it's on Monday night. So we have the teaser on Thursday. We'll probably have teasers during the weekend, and then we'll have the full-on trailer on Monday. Thank you, Joey, because I didn't know that.
That's awesome.
It's since the Entertainment Weekly kind of opened the floodgates on it, like, okay, here it is, and it got everybody's mindset back into Mandalorian.
That's the way it works.
Small little teaser, like coming October 30th season. It's going to be real small, maybe a blaster fire here and there, but still awesome. And that.
Oh, we'll get that tomorrow. We're gonna get it. Like I said, the teaser for the teaser.
All right. Well, we'll make sure we pay attention to that.
Well, I can't now. I'm not gonna go watching the games.
No.
Oh, no.
Well,
I cut the cord. I don't have cable anymore.
Next Wednesday, the 16th, is my birthday. So, I mean, if I want a birthday present, I want the Mandalorian trailer for my birthday.
On
so
a
can
Wednesday?
we make that happen on a Wednesday? I know, right?
Hey, Disney, you hear that?
Let me text Kat.
Yeah, okay. Text Kitty Cat for me and let me know.
Yeah. You better just text Dave.
Yeah, just cut Kathy.
Yeah, Dave's been
busy. Go right.
I've been trying. So not as busy as you guys would think. Really, Filoni's the one hard to get to.
They need to hand this to him, man. Just forget it. Just go, hey, Star Wars is yours.
They will.
So Vintage Rebellion came on and asked if we have actually talked about details about the photos that were released on Entertainment Weekly. We haven't really.
Not in details because I just figured they were promo shots. They look like promo shots, except for like maybe 2 of them.
Well, I would say the one I would talk about the most is Gideon. Yeah, because he's on a ISD.
Yeah,
sure, right? He's on a Star Destroyer.
It looks like
the TIE fighter and his troops came from somewhere because they're super clean. Yeah. So I guess that's probably the big thing is Star Destroyers are still around and above where they're at.
Yeah, I mean, think about if Gideon if he commands even if it's one Star Destroyer with like a couple regiments of TIE fighters and Stormtrooper, it's all his and everything. I said these are the remnants of everything. That makes so much sense, and that makes
so much
everything. It's like one of these things now that we see in season one, and now we've heard all the interviews from Filoni and Favreau and all that stuff, and we've seen that making of. Anything is possible in the Star Wars thing. So it's like one of those things. Like, are they going to do this? The answer is yes. Like, yes, we're going to see this. We're going to see Star Destroyers. We're see the Bantha. Obviously, we're going to go back on. It could be Tatooine, but who knows? But we do see Sand People and a Bantha. Chris, you're cut out. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay, that's a great point. That the Bantha and a Tusken Raider is not going to be anywhere but Tatooine.
Right.
You can't have both of those together unless it's Tatooine. I get the Jawa off-world. I get all that. You can see. I can see a Tusken off-world. Maybe got floated somewhere. Those are
the Bantha is
indigenous and staying. Yeah, that's not going.
No
anywhere.
one's going
I
to.
bet you he got. I bet you he got the Star Destroyer from Palpatine. You know how they had all those being made during. How those are.
Oh yeah, those aren't those yet. That's not that fleet.
No, I understand. What I'm thinking, he got the pre-made. He got the pre-made model.
Okay. Now I'm going to lose my mind.
Okay.
So what if Gideon somehow has the Chimera? The Chimera. What were they on? Was that the Chimera they got taken away?
No,
they were good. Yeah, he's got.
So here's a
that was the Chimera, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a thought. How about, since you said Banthas are indigenous to Tatooine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's the episode of the Sorcerer, and the Sorcerer is Kenobi.
Well, Kenobi's dead.
Yeah, Kenobi's long dead.
What am I thinking? I don't know why.
I did the same thing earlier. I was thinking in the Kenobi show, and I was going to theorycraft the same thing and realized it. I did.
Unless Ahsoka's living at Kenobi's house, and then
that's the ticket. That's the ticket.
Yeah. And
she's staying at
we're going to the Sorcerer's house, and she's there.
Just like we did.
I have not seen all of these photos. I've just seen the ones that we posted on our site. I haven't seen the Bantha. I didn't see any of that stuff.
I posted those too.
Yeah. Did you? I need to go spelunking in our page.
Yeah, we have this Instagram page.
It's on the
and Twitter.
Yeah, there's a shot of the Mandalorian on a speeder with the child in the bag, and there's of course.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're not really talking to Scott today.
Yeah.
Jeez, I guess.
Like I said, I seen them more as promo shots. Nothing. I there's not much to go off of, like much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a start,
which we can expect.
I didn't read the Entertainment Weekly article, so I didn't know what is involved in everything. So, but I just think it's the start, and it's cool.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna a couple of things that were mentioned online too, and I'm sure this is probably what's alluded to too, is maybe time jump. Mm-hmm. Okay, Grief Karga's beard is out and gray, and he's looking like he got paid for those jobs, right? So he's doing all right.
Right.
And then the child, depending on the angle you look at and which poster you look at, when you look at last season, he was yay under the knee pad. Okay. Now he's about yay over the knee pad.
Oh,
on the Mandalorian. So he could be growing a bit. So that might be the other piece. So
maybe there's either, like you said, time jump, or there's flashback.
Time jump, and I would assume he's going to grow a little, like in spurts. I don't think
I love time jumps. You know that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind a time jump in and see how far we're at. Like I said, if why I mentioned the Battle of Jakku at the beginning of this, and where does because of Moff Gideon and his regiment of Imperials, and they're after this whole Baby Yoda thing. I'm thinking it's after the Battle of Jakku. That's myself. Like
I think the jump will go around it. I think they'll mention it. I think they'll mention it. We got through this battle, or the Battle of Jakku happened. I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Because if you think Moff Gideon, he's pretty much doing his own thing, right? Maybe he is working for the Emperor, but he wasn't involved in the Battle of Jakku, because the Battle of Jakku was a ploy. We know this, that the Emperor set the Battle of Jakku up to destroy the remnants of the Empire so they can rebuild the First Order. That's basically what it was. It was like, just go there as a last standing battle. We know you're going to lose. Kill all the stuff that failed. Boom. We'll go off to the
that came from Aftermath, right?
Yeah, we'll go off to the outer, the unknown regions, and rebuild the First Order. Come back with a vengeance. That's what it was.
Right.
And I'm thinking,
I would love if on his Star Destroyer he gets that Emperor droid that comes up. With
cool.
The Emperor does it.
The Sentinel.
And then he doesn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like he was exactly like he fought it, and he's doing his own thing. And
I'm a warlord now. This is mine.
Yeah, and he's got the dark side.
Wow,
God, it's just so enriched. It's so cool.
Yeah, you could do a lot with that, because he could trade. Does he try to? I mean, with the Darksaber, is he trying to rule the Mandalorians that are there? Is he? There's so much.
It's very symbolic why this is the Mandalorian show and why Moff Gideon, the Imperial Warlord, because he is an Imperial Warlord, right? And he has the Darksaber. And is it something that to really throw in their face?
Could it be a way to bring in new troops? I mean, could he say, "I have the Darksaber, you bow to me now"?
Exactly. That's what it is. Like, your code dictates that I have this, and you're supposed to follow me. And so. Interesting. Yeah. And maybe that's going to be the split of the Mandalorians in this season. The Mandalorians that we know of, you're going to have some loyalists that are going to go that way, and then some are going to be fighting it. So that could be another subplot.
In the season 2 title leaks that have come out, if we end up having a Battle of Jakku, where do you think that would be?
Okay. Because I would think the Battle of Jakku would happen at the end. Yeah,
I think
you think so?
No, it can't be the end. Sorry, it's in the middle of a time jump. Depends on how they do time.
Well, I think like maybe we intro with that, like it's a prologue, and then that's their time jump going past that. That would be.
I think there's gonna be time jumps within the show. I heard anyway.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the other titles, the other episodes? Because I mean, there's a couple here. I mean, Chapter 2 could be it. It could be.
Okay, let's do it.
You want to do it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay. So listeners and watchers, viewers, fans, friends, and enemies, whoever is listening, off for the next 10 minutes because we're going to go through it. Roll.
All right. So we've got Chapter 1 is called The Search. And we can assume with that probably means that they're, bounty hunters are out there looking for the bounty still. Yeah. Chapter 2 is called. Okay. Hold on.
I kind of like The Search being a prequel, being the Imperial side, Gideon side, searching for the child.
Correct.
And then we show up. Then we get to real time, and then move forward.
Yeah, like Gideon's story up until
searching for the Darksaber, or
no, the Mandalorian and the child.
Getting the child hooked in. Where they got the child. They're on a search and figuring things out.
All right.
I kind of like that. I don't know why.
Chapter 2, The Confrontation. Whose confrontation? Who are we confronting? Is it Gideon versus? You think so? That's pretty early on. This could be where we see a Boba Fett versus Din Djarin.
Yeah, or Cad Bane versus.
Or Cad Bane, yeah.
Right.
Chapter 3 is called The Bounty. I mean, we already know what the bounty is, but is there a bounty?
But maybe the Mandalorian is the bounty now this time.
Could be.
Ooh, yeah, and I think this is where Cad Bane and Boba Fett show up, and one of them is running the syndicate.
Yeah, the bounty, because the bounty is very associated with Boba Fett.
I could totally see Cad Bane running the guild.
Yeah, absolutely.
More so than Boba Fett.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Chapter 4 is called The Republic.
Well, this is what
I find this interesting.
Well, I do too, because I think we're going to get. So
that's what I was thinking.
Twofold. I think it's going to update to us where the political spectrum of where the Mandalorian is, where the Republic is, because we saw some of that last season. And
there it is. Right there is Republic is where we see the Battle of Jakku. Yeah, it'll be in there.
Possibly, but wait, there's more.
Or mention of.
Chapter 5 is called The Loyalist. I got nothing.
And the Loyalist is what we could speak of with that Darksaber where the Mandalorian split, right? The Mandalorian split to Moff Gideon and they split to Din Djarin.
Some do.
Yeah.
There are some Loyalist
the split.
Mandalorians.
Right.
The breakup of the Mandalorians that we've seen. So it could be a very conflicting episode. Yeah.
I love that we're headcanoning all this.
Of course.
In split second real time.
Yeah.
We've never heard this.
We're riffing on this big time. Chapter 6, we've already talked about The Sorcerer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Chapter 7, The Return.
The Return could have been the Ahsoka part to it.
They rebuild IG-11.
Or
that'd be cool.
The return of, like I said, the
little pieces.
Maybe the return of Palpatine, in a sense.
Could be the cloning piece, or they return back to where it started.
Yeah, because remember, you said there's supposed to be like these flashbacks and stuff, and there was that rumor of speculating on how Palpatine survived. So
it's the return. You said,
the return. Yeah,
it's to Mandalore.
Okay.
I like
We're
that.
gonna visit Mandalore in live action, dude.
Dang.
Goosebumps, man.
That would be dope.
All right.
Wow. And then Our chapter 8, The Empire.
Okay.
Oh, I love that they have a republic and an empire.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Then this has to.
Yeah.
This has to be where we're. Oh, they're going at the same time. We're just seeing both sides.
Right.
Oh,
we could be seeing
okay.
Exactly. That'd be cool.
It's going to be one of those kind of shows where, okay, I'm sorry, Marco. Like This Is Us, where you don't know where you're at at the time.
Yeah, right.
Right? Like all of a sudden, 1 minute you're here,
Gotcha.
the next episode you're 5 years back.
Yeah.
And you're like, why am I here?
Well, remember in Star Wars, there's always the side that everybody thinks they're right, correct? The rebellion thinks they're right. The Empire thinks they're right. So we can get two sides of this too. Where
nobody's the villain in their own story.
Yeah,
from their point of view. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's but it's very
except
peculiar.
Palpatine, he's just a jerk.
Yeah, and like I said, the Empire could have been like, this is what the Empire. I mean, to leave that as the final episode too. That's important also, right? Like if this is real and all stuff.
Oh, that was the final episode.
Yeah. The Empire is the final episode. So that's what. There's got to be. Where's the cliffhanger and all that stuff. So.
That's where we're going to learn about the cloning and the possible rise of Palpatine.
Right. So anyway, grain of salt, everybody. Grain of salt. That list came out a few months ago. We don't really know if that's 100% legit, but it seems pretty cool.
It's fun to play with, though.
It is.
Yeah,
definitely.
They're all completely wrong, but because you know why it's wrong, or at least where we're wrong. We over Empire and Republic that.
Of course we did. Yeah,
we
that's not the Mandalorian series, correct?
At all.
But they could be going into that this season too. They could.
And these could with 40 minutes to an hour, right?
Right.
You can touch all the things we did. It doesn't have to be the whole episode.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I think we'll get. Yeah. All right. Well, that was fun though. I like doing that. That
was good.
Yeah, it was nice.
We should do that all the time with soundtracks and stuff.
Yeah,
we
could probably come up with 8 new titles and come up with a completely different thing. So
chapter 9, Qui-Gon's noble end.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, too soon?
Yes, it's still too soon for that. That's
it's only been 21 years.
Yeah, it's way too soon for that. I will never forgive myself.
I know, right?
Never. Lesson learned: never look at the soundtrack right before the movie.
Yeah.
Never look.
If you've made it that far.
Well, hell, the thing came out like 2 weeks before the movie did anyway. So
they all used to. The books did. Everything did.
Yeah. Never
because we didn't have the internet like we do now.
Right. Never play the video game or read the soundtrack titles. Video game makes sense. So, soundtrack titles, come on.
Let's see. Mando Mike says the return is the return of Boba's armor. I don't think so.
You're just against that. That's why you're so against Boba coming back right now.
I got a real Mandalorian now. I don't need no Boba Fett. Let's see. Vintage Rebellion.
Ouch.
Ernie's not here, so I can talk smack on Fett.
Ouch and not, yeah.
Let's see. Vintage Rebellion said it would be interesting to see the ineffectual galactic core. Grief made it sound as if the New Republic wasn't capable of much in the way of law keeping. So
yeah, he's right. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because even Din Djarin was in agreement with that.
Yeah. It makes sense. There's a power vacuum at this point, and it's lawlessness, and it begs the question. Like even in the Aftermath books, and the books do explore this when. We were better off with the Empire in place because at least we were eating, at least we had a job, at least whatever. Now that the oppressors are gone, I am homeless, I'm starving, people are dying because the Republic was not.
Not everybody hated the Empire.
Well, also the Republic is in no position to carry on feeding everybody, and you know what I mean. It takes a lot of time. You know what I mean. So.
Yeah, they don't have it, and even to keep order, there's a reason the Emperor kept building weapons that could destroy planets, right?
Exactly.
Because you have
to his dying breath.
Like everybody keeps making fun of that, like it's some stupid thing. You were trying to run an entire galaxy. Yeah. You can't walk around with guys that can't shoot, any kind of troopers, and a bunch of TIE fighters. And even Imperial Star Destroyers. You need something that can blow up your whole damn system.
Well, also think about this way: what are all the conspiracy theories on today in the world we live in now about depopulating the world to a 30% so the rich can control them better, because this is when that bottom half rises too far, they become uncontrollable. It makes sense in Palpatine's world and his eyes.
It was way too deep for me, like way too deep. But if I put it back into Star Wars, it makes sense.
That was too real.
Does Palpatine make people vaccinate, and does he chip them?
He could. Absolutely. That was next.
Masks are coming.
Forced gender reassignment. Anyway,
they filter out smoke, but not particles and debris. So I don't.
Yeah. Life Day is canceled.
Life Day is canceled.
No, it's not. November 7th. All right.
No more gender reveal parties.
No gender reveal fires. No.
Oh,
That's
God.
way too soon.
All right.
Too soon.
I got one more bit of topic to talk about.
How the heck?
I know. Let's talk about Daisy Ridley's interview today with Josh Gad. Are
you sure about that?
It wasn't even
Feed
an
those
interview.
trolls. Feed those trolls.
Yeah, it wasn't even an interview. It was like a 6-minute hi,
discussion.
How are you?
Two friends talking.
Two friends talking, and
it was a podcast.
And the Star Wars internets went just berserk, right?
I ignored them.
They do
because they took things again. This is they took things as like I don't know that they run with. I don't. It's not out of context. Okay, let me just. Okay, the main thing is Daisy Ridley was talking to Josh Gad, and he was talking about how her lineage, right? And it was talking about how she did not know the lineage up until almost last minute, and then was changed almost like weekly or every 2 weeks. It was changed and all that stuff. Now, people ran with that, like because she said at one point I could have been a Kenobi. At one point I really was nobody, and then they made that final decision that I was a Palpatine. They took that out there and said that was confirmed. They changed her being a Kenobi last minute, and that ruins everything because her being a Kenobi makes all that stuff, and they just ran with that title. And I'm being a little sarcastic here with that. I tend to agree with the fact that it's frustrating that it's becoming more clear to me. Now, I don't know how you guys feel. It's becoming more clear to me that the direction that they have wasn't a steady, sturdy, set in concrete direction. I get that you can change minds. I get that you can change directions on the fly if it makes sense. But not to have a solid concrete idea from fruition, from beginning to end, to me is becoming irrelevant that it hurt the sequels to me.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Was there an exact plan? No, there's not an exact plan for the originals either, right? There's a layout, a road to get to this point.
Right.
We knew the first movie was Han's movie. We knew the second movie was Luke's, and the third movie was supposed to be more of Leia's if she hadn't passed, right?
Right.
There was an outline of how this was going to go, an outline, and things change. The original trilogy, they weren't always related. Right.
It was they had the overall ideas, but they didn't get into the nitty-gritty details until they were making the movies.
It didn't become a family deal, even on his first the Star Killer bits, right?
Yeah,
nothing to do with family and all this stuff. And Anakin and Vader were separate people. It wasn't like it was
right. They were separate people. At one point, Obi-Wan and Anakin were supposed to be brothers. Luke and Leia weren't family until Return of the Jedi. So I get George Lucas wrote those things and changed things on the flight. So that kind of reassures me, okay, this is fine. But I think that the Rise of Skywalker, bringing in Palpatine, and I always say this, like I go, I'm having a hard time with this.
It came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere, but also I'm having a hard time with it because it seems to me and I've said this before, that it seems to be the Palpatine story rather than the Skywalker story, because you left off with Rey being a Palpatine, but on paper she's Skywalker. I get that. Okay, she left that. But 20 years down the line, she has offspring that are evil. Palpatine's back. It's like, where do you draw that line? I thought this was
maybe she's. We'll just make her fertile in our headcanon, and then it won't happen.
Well, she also said that I think Josh Gad gave the question too. In 10 years, if Disney comes back and says, or Lucasfilm comes back and says, we want you to reprise your role of Rey, and she said, well, I think that, she says, never say never, but I think that it was tied up in a nice little bow and pretty much never to revisit again. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Like that. No, you didn't. You did not tie anything up. You still are alive at the end. You walked off. You just buried Luke's and Leia's sabers, but you have your own. So you're obviously taking the mantle of a Jedi. You're a Palpatine. You can have offspring. I mean, it's like you didn't tie anything off.
Well, I actually think just for this saga, it is, because there's not going to be any war now. We don't need stories of her bringing peace and fixing things. I don't care about that.
Right.
What we get now is giving me 100 and 200 years in the future of the Jedi or the Skywalkers or whatever they are that she built, right? That she helped recreate.
Right.
Then I'm okay with the lineage of her training.
But that's where we're going by what Luke was trying to do. You know what I mean? It's just like a revolving door.
But we don't see that. We just see the end result.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I just was I think we always discussed this too, leading up to Rise of Skywalker. How is it going to be like it? And then we could tell us backstories.
It's the song that never ends.
Yeah, and I don't like that because Star Wars was never like that. Star Wars was never a saga that never ends. It was always.
Well, wait. After Return of the Jedi, we had to do the same thing. It would. I know he had screenplays or written pieces, right? But it's not like it was going to end at Return of the Jedi either. The prequels obviously end because we knew where it was going, right? But Return of the Jedi left it wide open for Luke to go train Jedi and do whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's where the EU came from.
Well, this is why.
We still can.
But this is why, like I said, I'm having a hard time with it. Like I said, I don't know about you guys. It's like
I get it.
I decided to do this weird thing where I started watching them in reverse. So I watched episode 9, and I enjoy it for what it is. It's got flaws. It's all Star Wars movies have their flaws. But then I watched episode 8 again, and I'm like, okay, now I see it from a different perspective that way, and it kind of. Some of the things they did in The Rise of Skywalker makes sense, like the connection between Rey and Ben and all that. It completely makes sense how that would work. But still, then going back into The Force Awakens, it's like, okay, but still the Palpatine thing just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There is no foreshadowing. And we were discussing this in chat earlier today that there was no foreshadowing at all. And with a good mystery, you like to get all those little bits and pieces so where you can try and put together the story in your head.
Yeah.
But instead they left us kind of grasping for straws.
Well, they left it as everything that you knew, just put Palpatine in place of Snoke, and then and he's back, and he's got it. And how he came back is like, oh, wait a second, I have 2 of you here. I'm on flesh and blood. I don't need everything that we just went through. I really didn't need it. I just needed you 2 in front of me. And here's with this big light. It's just like,
oh, but they needed to figure that out for themselves and go through what they went through in 7 and 8 in order to get to that point to be the dyad. They needed that. They
but even
whole thing and get the connection, everything.
But even Palpatine didn't realize that until an hour, 59 minutes.
Because the Force is as the Force wills it, right? He doesn't know all this stuff. But even when we had Force Awakens, and everybody's like, "Who is Snoke? Who is Snoke? Who is Snoke?" Right. We were guessing it could be Palpatine or the essence of Palpatine. Yeah. We got it. Yeah, he was controlling him. We got the answer. Why is and not you, Mark? I get it, Marco. I get it. And I can see the issues, and I still have a little bit of issues. It's not my favorite set of trilogy.
Right.
It's not.
No.
But it's beautiful. Right, it doesn't rhyme as well with each other that everything else does. But as far as we got that answer though, I mean, that's what bugs me is like.
And like I said, what does work for me is, and people disagree with me, is Luke. I love Luke in the trilogy.
I do too.
I don't think he was utilized enough in Rise of Skywalker, but I loved his transition in Last Jedi. I think it was very poetic. I like Kylo Ren. I like Rey.
Oh, the funny thing about the Rise of Skywalker too is you're so into the Rise of Skywalker, all of a sudden Luke's ghost snatches the saber out of the sky, and you're like, "Oh crap! I forgot about Luke. How could you forget about Luke?"
I never looked for him. I never wondered where he was. I knew he was dead. Didn't look for a Force ghost, and I'm like, "Oh yeah,
right.
That's right, Luke.
Super."
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said. And none of this ruins it for me. I'm just having a harder time with this trilogy being like what Scott said. And yes, we do talk away the points. If you plug in Palpatine every time Snoke is mentioned and know that it's Palpatine, right? I pulled in the strings and all that stuff. You can kind of go back and be like, okay, and put your headspace in there. That's Palpatine controlling that. That's him saying it. That's doing all this stuff. But it still catches me off guard every time I watch that crawl and it says, "From beyond, the voice of the is returned."
The dead speak.
Just expect it. Just accept it. And I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about.
Yeah.
And again, I'm okay. The word on the streets is, again, we talked about the word on the street says that they're going that Disney and Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy, all of them are doing this edit. Like a Snyder edit. But now listen, this is not a stuff to retcon anything. This is additional stuff to help out what I just said.
Okay.
Additional flashbacks, Anakin's scenes in the movie, and Palpatine's like flashbacks of him surviving the fall and on Return of the Jedi. So things to help what I'm struggling with. And I'm hoping that's legit. Actually, I'm hoping that's legit. A lot of people will point a finger in my face and say, look, they're retconning and ha, ha, ha. They didn't make a good movie, so they're going to do it again. I'm like, no, I think it's a win-win if they're going to add scenes in the movie, if they're going to re-edit to think that they're going to make things make more sense. on how
if they do it to be better, they can even re-release it.
Yeah,
and I'll watch it because that won't be a hoax like the whole. Let's see the new Hulk. Version
Right. Yeah.
Come back and watch it so we can break a record.
Exactly.
I will. I'd go watch that for those scenes, or just pay Disney Plus, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the special edition. Essentially, it would be the special edition. It's not fixing anything. It's adding a little bit more to it,
like the books or the cartoons or anything else.
I've always said Anakin is lacking in the sequels, and I always thought the story of Anakin, blah blah blah. Yeah. So adding him and putting Anakin more in perspective, or actually adding him into the films. Let's see more of like flashback things in here, and they could do a lot of flashback. The movies have room for that. Mm-hmm. So I figured, let's do it.
There's nothing wrong with a 3-hour Star Wars movie.
It's more convenient for Disney to do it this way rather than the whole George Lucas is coming in to reshoot all 7, 8, 9. I'm like, they don't have the money for that. They don't want to do that. Nobody out there is going to go see it. We'll see it because it's Star Wars, right? But at the same time, the average moviegoer is not going to. They already got their Star Wars movie, and we're on a broken record on that. The masses are not going to go watch 7, 8, 9 again. You release it on Disney, release it as a DVD special edition, add scenes to it, enhance whatever, make Finn more relevant. Who knows? Make him say what he said to what he was supposed to say to Rey the whole time. Add that scene in there.
I like that they didn't. See, that's the thing. I like that they didn't. They left it ambiguous.
I thought it was stupid, but
that he was going to be Force sensitive.
No, he never told her, and everybody's just supposed to know that.
I wish he wasn't Force sensitive. I wish he was going to tell her he loved her.
That too. Yes.
That's what it was. I knew.
I don't think it would be a big surprise for him to say that to her. I mean, he projected that from the beginning.
I think most people that didn't read a book or figure it out probably assumed that's what he was going to tell.
Why would Rey run to the remnants of the Death Star on that bridge while they're fighting just to say, "I'm Force sensitive," and she's like, "Dude, I'm busy."
And Force push him off the edge.
Yeah, but I need training. Can you train me to Force push Kylo right now? I mean, like. He went through great lengths to try to tell her, and he had every opportunity to do that. Or there could have been a Rey could have been like, "I know what you're going to tell me." Like
we would have had two clowns never being trained by a Jedi, all of a sudden running around not knowing how to use the Force, which it could be a great little comedy sketch and them running around causing havoc. But I don't want it in 3 movies.
I think that was a rushed afterthought in Rise of Skywalker that they just wrote that in for. Finn's character.
No, I think that was his plan. I think that was the plan for him in the beginning.
There's that scene in the beginning of The Force Awakens where it's like, whenever I saw that scene, I thought, oh, that was the Force awakening in Finn. And then throughout the Rise of Skywalker, he kept getting feelings and stuff.
You're right. Maybe that was JJ's way of going full circle to that scene of him with Stormtrooper.
Because the guy dropped in Johnson's. So,
that whole Daisy Ridley thing, that was fun. She's got the best smile in the world, by the way.
Yep.
So, oh my God, it's contagious.
It's just everybody takes everything and takes it from 0 to 60.
Yeah.
And it's...
I don't think her
tiring.
being a Kenobi would make any difference to me whatsoever. I don't see how that changes anything. I really don't.
It would have made no sense to me.
Yeah.
You would have made... What's it say again, Joey?
It wouldn't have made no sense to me if they would have made her a Kenobi.
Right.
It just wouldn't have made no sense.
Yeah,
it would have cheapened Kenobi's character.
I really don't care that he's a Palpatine, honestly.
Because then he has a secret family that we don't know about. That would have taken away his focus on Luke. It would have meant he would have done things against the Jedi that Anakin, it would have.
And that could be
him down 3 notches.
And that could have been in JJ's headspace, right?
Yeah.
It could have been like, I was toying with it, and I might have said it out loud. And just because we changed it last minute doesn't mean that I didn't know what I was talking about and redirected it. But
I'll let you know right now, the employees that aren't in charge of things aren't always in the know on every single thing. I'm sure these writers, directors, producers, everybody, and Kennedy are all sitting in the room with that whiteboard that we've seen, right? And they probably had a list of 8 different characters that she could be attached to and a nobody, right? And when they do it, boom. They chose one. They kept changing it. They're talking about this list of people you could be.
Yeah.
Two things. Two things.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Number one, the Palpatine thing, her fighting always, every time she duels, every time she fights angry. She fights.
She does the whole.
And she stabs.
With rage. She battles with rage. She is not one with the Force. So the Palpatine thing and her being able to conjure the lightning, that completely made that part of it made sense. That I understood that. I'm like, oh crap, that makes sense. Latent Force abilities that are that powerful. Secondly, you mean the people wouldn't tell you all the stuff, kind of like Poe wasn't told by Holdo all the things?
Don't bring that up. I hate that.
Sorry. Just saying, the general, the admirals and generals don't always tell the captains every little tidbit.
No, I get
Fans,
it. I get it. It's a funny thing, right? Like we talk about it, and then I go, okay, I'm calmed down. I'm calm. I go back and I start living my Star Wars life at home, and then these things pop up again, and I go, yeah, like what the hell?
That's too much.
Yeah.
It happens, I mean, like it's actually, to me, it's a kind of a good thing because it reinforces when you talk about it, reinforces some of those ideas. My hope was that the sequel trilogy would reinforce 1 through 6, and it didn't, and that's probably my biggest struggle with the whole thing, is that it didn't, and Anakin was out of it, and like I said, but anyway, maybe a cut's coming, maybe that's gonna come, and maybe they'll add things just like George Lucas tried to do, is always perfect his movie. That's cool. It's a win-win.
I can see us getting a special edition. I don't see it adding too much stuff. I don't think we're gonna get a Snyder cut, type of thing where it's gonna be 4 hours.
Right. Well, cool. Like I said, it's a win-win for us because
we get more stuff if it happens.
If you're gonna enhance the sequel trilogy and make things more sense. I just think that Disney just needs to tie it with a bow and move on to something completely different. So
agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I'm through talking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want to talk about it within the story, obviously. But I can't wait for
hype, man.
I know. Well, no, dude, believe me, I'm still arguing.
Yeah.
But
that's why I've been silent this whole time, because I was just like, it's done. Yeah. It's already done. Like the conversation that we had for 15 to 20 minutes was talking about stuff that is already done. It's on the shelf, like we had said, and yet we brought it to attention. I was just like, I wasn't bored with it. I like hearing what you got, your guys' thoughts on the whole thing, but I was just like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, but
it's
like
already done.
Well, it's because
coming out.
I know, but
we wanted to make sure to get to 2.5 hours today, so we had to go.
Right.
Right, but what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what Ray had said. It doesn't matter.
Of course not. We can't,
that's what I'm saying.
Nothing we say or think about changes anything. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
But these things that what I defended, I'm gonna talk for me, and I know you guys did too, but for me, I defended the round table for a long time, and then to hear some of these things coming out that there was not a very, very clear and things happen. Carrie Fisher's passing, I think, affected a lot of this.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I think them firing Trevorrow, which I thought was a good idea, and bringing JJ back in with complete different ideas, things went awry. Things went different all over the place.
That's happened since Star Wars. Yeah.
Well, George Lucas wrote all of them. He wrote all of them. You know what I mean? If he changed it, that was his plan. It wasn't 5 guys changing everything.
I understand.
And again, I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave, elements of Last Jedi I like a lot. I think that it could have been fitted a lot better if I guess maybe if Rian Johnson, JJ talked or something. I don't know.
Supposedly they did.
Yeah, I know.
Supposedly they talked, but I don't know what happened after.
And JJ loved Last Jedi, and he loved the screenplay for it. He wished he was doing it.
Well, I know that, but again, then certain things come out to counter that. It's just kind of like, oh God, what do I believe or not? The only thing that we could do is like what Mike said, just take what's on screen and move on. So that's what we do, of course. But again, we're a podcast. We bring this stuff up, and there is controversial things that goes on in Star Wars.
Well, and we talk about it because everybody else is talking about it.
Of course.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But, it does, because obviously if we're talking about it, people are thinking it.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about it in a toxic, idiotic
No. I'm not
That's
destroying this
thing.
because the same guys that I talked to, they just dismiss Star Wars altogether. I'm talking all of Star Wars.
No, you're just trying to figure out how it all works.
Exactly.
Again, we're not saying what doesn't work. We're like, how can this work? How do we make this work? And eventually we'll get it down to where everything makes exact sense because we'll be able to have enough books, background, and everything to tie it all together.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't have that now. It's going to rely a lot on the backstories. And that's where everybody else is going to lose their minds. That's where I'm going to love it.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Well, same here. I'll read every book.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, with that, guys, I think we're done tonight. I think we ran a gambit, man. There was actually a lot of stuff coming out and a lot of stuff to talk about.
Oh yeah. And we're going to get that. I'm telling you, Joey nailed it. We're getting that teaser tomorrow, and then we're getting the full trailer.
That'd be awesome. And of course,
fingers crossed.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Then we're going to play this recording, and we're going to play this clip over and over and over on every social media platform we have.
Of course. And speaking of our social media platforms, you can find us on StarlaccDigestPodcast.com, where we will drop any news that is happening on Star Wars related news. We will drop the trailer there. We'll drop anything that drop, teasers, toys, whatever it is, Star Wars. Go there for your daily content because and as it drops, also make that your home for all your Star Wars news and everything.
Just bookmark it.
Yeah, bookmark
visit it every day.
And if you want to pretty much talk about how we do this on the podcast, you can check us out on our Facebook chat page, our Sarlacc Central on Facebook. All the links will be in the description, of course, but there we interact daily. You can interact with other Star Wars fans that are in the Sarlacc world, dropping everything, posting questions, post your own questions, post a poll, do everything. Keep the conversation going. That's what we do, right? We're in line.
That's right.
We're waiting for October 30th to hit Season 2, Mandalorian, on Halloween Eve.
Yes. So. And I got to say, we've been doing all these toy reviews and all that. And I did a toy review, which I didn't focus on the toy enough, but Joey put out a toy review that was top notch. And that will be the level I go to on my next toy review, man, because that was perfect.
Always trying.
Mine was too much of this guy here. Yours was all about the toy. Oh, look. A Hondo that somebody opened for me.
You're supposed to open your toys, Scott.
But Joe, check out Joey's toy review. He reviewed the Tebow figure and the Clone Trooper and a special bonus Sub-Zero he did for Mando Mike. And I gotta say, man, A+.
More to
Thank
come.
you very
I hope.
much.
More to come. I hope.
More.
Yeah.
More, Joey. More.
Yeah.
There will be. Thank you.
So. Let's go round table. Thank you, everybody in the chat that's joined us. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Of course, hit the bell notification because we don't know when we're dropping stuff, but we are dropping stuff. We got a lot of stuff in the pipeline, especially for our YouTube channel. 3D printing stuff, with toy reviews. We've got cooking videos coming out, really cool cooking ones. We've got our Cantina night coming out. That's going to be spelled out. We spelled out earlier this episode. And, of course, stay tuned to our chat and our website for all that good info because we have a lot of fun with it, and we're trying to bring what we do outside the podcast, Star Wars-wise, to the YouTube channel. So that'll continue to grow as long as there's an audience.
Yep.
Right? So
even if it's just 1,000 of you.
Yeah. If it's only 1,000, then we just...
Help us get to 1,000.
Yes. Oh, we do have some giveaways coming out too.
We do.
I believe that we will start giving details of that because we want to hit a threshold with our followers on YouTube, right?
Yep.
Do we have details on that yet? Are we hitting at that?
Well, our first threshold, it's going to be a smaller one. It's going to be as soon as we hit a 250 subscribers, we're going to give something away. It could be a Dominic Pace autographed photo.
Yep.
It could be a Black Series action figure. It could be that's the detail we're a little bit iffy on.
And there's also either.
Well-oiled machine.
Damn straight. We've also got a Thrawn Ascendancy book that we can give away too. You hear all of us talking about all this Thrawn stuff. Maybe that should be our next giveaway. Maybe it should be.
Honestly, if you're not reading the books, you're missing out.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on.
So, but check us out. Sarlacc Digest Central will have all the details on there, and then we're going to pump that out through Twitter also, right? Because you're on Twitter, Chris.
Oh, I am. Was that next to me?
Yeah. I guess that's a yes.
We're on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. But individually, Scott, thank you very much for coming. Tell everybody where we can find you.
Of course. You can find me on here, of course. We've also got Nerd Tunes. Kevin and I are still pretending that we're going to do a show pretty quick, so I don't know when that's going to happen. You can follow me on The Art of Scott Solo on Instagram, and also I've got a Scott Solo Facebook page, or just Scott Kruger. Find me. I'm there.
Very cool. Joey, where can we find you?
You can find me here at the Sarlacc Digest, and you can find me on Instagram at bootlegjoe_760.
Nice. Fanboy Mike, you're going to be doing some cooking shows, I hear.
Yeah, we got something coming up in the mix.
Awesome.
Chris and I are working on some things. You can find me at the Corey.
Yeah.
You can find me in the gym, or you can find me here at a Sarlacc Digest.
Very cool. And Mr. Hot Topic himself, Chris.
Hey, you can find me on the Sarlacc Digest YouTube page all over because I am cranking out Hot Topic episodes now. Yep. We got a bunch in the chamber going to be scheduled out. We're going to go over Attack of the Clones and why it's the best. Well, in that case, not the best one. but why it's really, really good and you're undervaluing it, Scott.
Yes, I guess I must be.
I'm going to revisit Luke's arc, my old episode 4. We're going to go through it now that the saga's done. We got a few things that can tie in a few more books and go through it. So we're going to revisit that in 15 minutes or less. A couple Thrawn episodes, a whole bunch of stuff, and I'll be helping Mike out with the cooking show that I'm pretty darn excited about. I think we're going to be rocking that one.
Awesome.
So, I love it.
Good stuff.
Cool.
So we catch it. Oh yeah, and if you're talking to catch the Twitter, the IG pages, and I really don't talk much on Facebook. We don't get a lot of chatting on Facebook Messenger, but you can hit us in the group and we'll chat in there.
Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah, we leave the Facebook open to pretty much the collective and for everybody to post things. Post your own podcast if you have one. Post your own YouTube video channels that you have one. We're all the same community here, and we all try to support everybody.
Share your Star Wars stories with us. That's awesome. I love to hear everybody's Star Wars origin story.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Go through it. Just post whatever you want about Star Wars. I think everybody's very careful about what they post on there. Yeah. But just go in there and go nuts because just keep it clean. I mean, we're a PG-13 show, but
exactly.
I've had to delete maybe 2 memes.
Yeah, exactly. Some are a little, but they're still funny. But
yes.
We have a quick meeting. We have a council meeting, and we're like, okay, is that too much TNA? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it happens. It happens. Chris, who's our next guest next 2 weeks?
Force Choke Podcast coming in from Texas.
Awesome.
So pretty pumped up about meeting them and talking to them on the show. We talk virtually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instagram.
It might be an earlier show, right? Like 7 o'clock, I think. We haven't really worked.
Yeah, we haven't really dialed down the time. We'll do it after this show. Usually after this episode, I'd not talk to the next guest. Okay, and then after that, we'll have Star Wars Savage on.
Yep.
We'll come in the first episode of October. And as I mentioned like 87 times, Daniel Jose Older, the author of Last Shot, Born in the Storm from the Certain Point of View book, and soon to be a High Republic who's focusing, or at least has a good amount to do with the new Yoda.
And he is confirmed. He is coming on. So
confirmed.
That's gonna be great. And then we'll have Galactic Coven on after that because they were supposed to be here today, but unfortunately, because of the fires here in California, they're battling that themselves. So,
let me get the answer on George Lucas before we decide what day we're going to grab the Coven.
Okay, that's right. George Lucas and then the Coven.
He hasn't said no yet.
Right. No response is still no response, right?
That's right.
No news is good news.
Exactly.
That's right.
All right, cool. Everybody in the chat again, thank you for joining us. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe out there. Try not to breathe the air wherever you're at. Just don't breathe. Just stay home.
That's right. Just hold your breath.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right. Keep it nerdy,
Bye-bye.
guys.